The the dark cave is quiet. It smells of moist earth. Roots protrude from the wall about everywhere that you turn. You, Alexander, with your low light vision in particular, you can see off to your side the tunnel winds just a little ways before opening up into a chamber, a pocket, if you will, in the ground there in the earth that is absolutely thick with a massive tangle of roots, the likes of which you have never seen before.
Right.
You have slain two inhabitants of this cave, a haggard crone and some sort of giant toad that seemed connected to her in some sort of way.
Even thinking about it or looking at it just gives me the shivers. Just, oh, God, I want to get away from this as soon as possible.
I don't blame you. You were going into its mouth for just a moment there.
Yeah, that was... Oh, God.
So otherwise, the area is still. What do you guys do?
I am going to go up to... oh, God. Cody, your character's name was... I have everyone
Magos.
else but Cody's.
Magos Aviva.
And I will say, what the hell were you thinking?
I wasn't.
Is he still entranced?
Magos.
A little bit.
Magos still feels a dandy euphoria filling his every fiber.
With that being the case, I would like to run up to JB. What was your character's name?
Razvan.
Razvan. I'd like to run up to Razvan and just give him a very slow and powerful hug. This is not something I usually do, but in my current state, I embrace him and I say, "Oh, thank you. You saved me from that pit."
I guess I'll also go over and not loot her, but examine her, see if I see anything odd about her.
Magos, when he approaches, I'm just getting my crossbow situated to where I can sling it back on the front and not have to carry the whole weight. And he can tell that I am panting quite heavily, as if the fight took far more out of me than he would have imagined, since I wasn't even in combat face to face. When he goes to hug me, at first it startles me a little bit, but I turn and I say, "Of course, you are no good to me stuck in the ground. Are you okay? Did the fall hurt you?"
I am feeling quite well. I will make you a lord for this.
I just appreciate you helping me with this. I will look out for my friends and comrades. I promise.
Yes. Margot says, any round that the brothels invite us are on me.
Pollock, what about you? What are you doing? How do you feel?
Pollock would be sitting kind of against some of the scree on the cavernous walls and just kind of looking at everything. Probably looking a little bit shocked. He's been pulled out of this world and placed into another world almost overnight, another world that he's never been in before. And he's sharpening his sword. And with every shink, shink, his eyes are just like looking through people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's doing.
Okay, so he has a lot on his mind, or maybe he's trying to keep a lot out of the forefront of his mind, but in whatever way, this new environment's affecting him quite a bit.
Yes.
Alexander, you approach this escarpment here. You see feet with nasty yellow toenails sticking over the edge some 15 feet above you, and there's a a few drips of blood that come off of the earthen face. What are you doing over there?
Forgot to unmute myself. I guess I'll just go up there and check on her. Does anything stand out about her? She's obviously human, right?
You want to get up there? You can climb it or some other way to scale. You don't see any kind of ladders or stairs, though.
Obviously, I'm not going to jump 15 feet, so I will I will climb it.
Okay, make an athletics check.
It's decent. It's a 17.
That's plenty enough. You scale up the face of the escarpment, and you're looking over this now corpse, this fresh corpse here. She looks human-ish enough.
All right.
Make an investigation check. See if you see what else you might find.
I mean, I yell back, she's obviously not a giant.
She's obviously not a giant. Her hair is ratty, almost like the roots of this cave. Skin is patchy and wrinkly and veined, and you see there are little spiders crawling out from her. A couple come out from underneath the hair of her scalp. One crawls out of her mouth. Others maybe out of a sleeve in her ragged garb.
Right. So that's a 22 on an investigation.
You thoroughly search over the corpse. As you do so, a few of these spiders crawl onto you, and they are biters. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Crap. That's one of the things that I'm not great at. Oh, shoot. That's 12.
That's what you needed. You still suffer a little bit from these bites. 6 poison damage.
That added on to the damage that I took before. There's no bloodied in this game, so I don't need it to. But I am definitely half health.
You don't feel so great. It's not too much a matter of blood loss, but more some kind of toxin that these things have put into you. Do you want to get away from her? Do you want to just bear through it and keep investing her, swatting away these little spiders as you do?
I don't think this is a good idea. I'm gonna say, guys, there's a whole bunch of spiders on her, and I'm feeling a little lightheaded after dealing with being halfway consumed and these spiders. Would somebody else like to take a look at this?
Magos might be interested. He's pretty inquisitive.
All right, come over here and I'll help you up.
Okay.
And I'll reach down from the side of the thing and try to help him up. I guess that would just be an aid on an acrobatics check.
Yes, since this is a pretty simple task, I'm not going to have you roll anything.
Not acrobatics, but
athletics. Yeah, sometimes I might call for a check in order to aid somebody, but this is a pretty simple task. So Magos, you have advantage on an athletics check.
A 5.
You pull away some chunks of dirt and rock with your sandal or your boot, whatever you wear.
A boot. Magos looks frustrated, but in the most calm way you could possibly imagine. Magos walks over to Pollock and he asks, "My friend, I was wondering if you could help me up this ledge. You look strong and you look like a hearty man."
Pollock doesn't hear you. He's kind of staring down, and then he kind of looks up. I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry. I was wondering if you could help me up this ledge. You look like a strong, capable man.
Yes, of course. And he stands up and he sheathes the sword and he picks up his shield and walks over to you and attempts to help you with the ledge.
Yeah, Magos isn't very heavy, no more than 180 pounds.
All right, Magos, give it another try.
This has been very interesting.
14.
Good enough. Your allies help you up, and you see this nasty woman dead at your feet. You see the spiders
Beware
that
this-
Alexander was hollering about.
Be wary about them. There might be some type of... They're poisonous.
I don't like spiders, but I will do my best. I'm wondering if maybe a little firebolt might clean some of these spiders off.
You're casting a spell?
Yes, a cantrip firebolt. I would just like
I'm gonna back
this
up.
I kind of motion to Alex. We might want to back up just a little. I'm cleaning this corpse, and
Gotcha.
it's just a cantrip. I'll go ahead and I'll just make a ranged attack, and that's going to be a 21.
No attack necessary. So you're burning her with fire is what you're doing.
Basically.
Okay. Well, it smells terrible.
Ooh,
A waft of burning hair and charring skin and these singeing ratty garments that she's wearing. It smells terrible, and spiders go kind of scurrying every which way. Some of them just completely, fry into little black charred, curled legs on the ground. That seemed to scare them away pretty well.
excellent. Magos blows away the smoke from his hands like a 6-shooter that's just been shot. And I proceed with my investigation of the charred corpse, holding my nose. Sorry, gentlemen, that wasn't very good. That's only a 13 investigation.
Okay, and hold on to your 13. Alexander, do you want to resume? You'd rolled pretty high there, so I don't want to take that away from you.
Yeah, I'll resume the investigation after all the
Okay.
spiders are gone.
Okay, so you're both looking over her. Magos, you were, basically the first one to start picking through her. It's pretty nasty. So it's not the most pleasant thing to search through, and it smells terrible after you charred the corpse. She has a couple of knitting supplies, some basic yarn and some wooden darning implements, and something that she was eating, some kind of charred chunk of meat and some rooty vegetable that's been gnawed upon. In one of her pockets, you come up with just various bits. There's some bird feathers. There's a tail of something that's probably a lizard. She has all kinds of little miscellaneous pieces of animals and plants.
Magos steps back, trying to back off the stench, and he says, "Well, she's definitely a Magos. I don't think there is anything else here to see, Alex."
Alex, on the other hand, may disagree with you. Alex, roll a D percentile.
I'm sorry, what?
A D percentile.
A D100?
D100.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cinematic. It's like in the movie. Well, there's nothing here. Oh wait.
Is
What
this gonna
about
be? This gonna be like that random item chart? Because I'm excited about that. If that's the case.
Maybe it is, and maybe it is.
All right. So let's see, D100 and a D10.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I hate you.
my lame father joke of the evening.
Whatever, that was awesome.
I had all the dice that I thought I was gonna need out. I'm so sorry. I'm slowing things down.
Would
There
you
we
like
go.
me to roll for you?
No, I got it. That is a 99.
Excellent. So you find something else that Magos did not find. Perhaps this rolled out of one of her pockets and is lying on the ground amidst some muck and rocks. Probably it's pretty mucky here.
Yeah.
There is an orb, something that would fit well into the palm of your hand. Looks like it's made out of some sort of glass. When you examine it by the light, or you maybe hold it up with the various couple torch lights that are burning here,
Right.
it does have a slight glint to it. It's not totally opaque. It's a bit translucent.
Okay.
Does Magos see this?
I make sure everyone sees it.
Magos says, you might want to put that down.
What is it?
I imagine it has magical properties. You remember the gem from the cave, do you not?
Oh, you mean the whispering one? Yeah, I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff.
Even if it does have a beneficial... Here, really, please let me see it. Let me see if I can... Just hold on just 1 minute. Magos is going to expend a spell slot. Do you hand him the orb?
Warily.
So Magos takes it, and he's going to do a ritual. He pulls out he has the orb in one hand. He places it on the ground for a minute, pulls out a spell book, looks through, flips through, incites a few words, and this takes place over a little, like 5 minutes or so, and he's going to cast Identify using a spell slot.
I believe if you do a ritual version of the spell, you do not expend a spell slot.
Ah, well, in that case, then beautiful.
I think if you're using the regular casting time, that's a spell slot, whereas a ritual makes it take longer, I think 10 minutes or so, and you just cast it as normal, do your components as normal, and it doesn't use up the slot.
It only takes 1 minute, actually, so yeah. You see Magos, he pulled out a pearl out of his component pouch and it disappeared, and along with an owl feather. And so basically, he just incited some words and some things disappeared, but the orb still remains. And I'm assuming that this means it was a success, but Esper, let me know otherwise.
I'll say, hey, if you need another pearl, I know a few crows that might have some.
Ooh. Good thinking.
Magos, you are looking at a glass orb, nothing more.
If I tell my comrades this kind of frustratingly, I look kind of disappointed, and I put it back down I tell Alex if he wants it, he can have it, but I don't want it.
I'll put it in my bag. There must be some reason she had it.
Well, if you start saying words in Old Feyloric, I will know that it has possessed you.
Where's the fun in that? And yeah, I guess we'll stop looking at her and look to the north and
Yes.
see what's down those hallways.
Of course.
Razvan, are you still catching your breath hanging back?
I would like to journey forward towards this toad and see if I can't retrieve the bolt that I killed it with for my
Okay.
crossbow. While I'm doing it, I would like to give it a once-over. This would be my first time actually encountering a giant frog of this magnitude.
I would ask that you retrieve my arrows also.
So it would be pretty interesting to me. And sure, if I can fish any of his out, I would as well.
Let's see. Your bolt was what slew the creature, correct?
Yes, it was.
All right. It's buried in there really deep, just straight through the thing's like its upper breast area, and you have to really stick your arm in there.
I would crouch down, and it's kind of keeled over onto the side. I would crouch down and
slop it around a bit.
punch deep into it, and I'd stick my finger in, and just, it's not worth it.
Then the noises that it makes as he's doing that probably make me throw up.
It twitches.
I don't have the most. I don't have the most fortuitous.
Its
stomach.
leg kicks a little bit on the ground.
And as I see that, I'll say, "Stop pouring salt on it."
But do I see anything particularly interesting with the frog? What color is it, by the way?
It's ochre color for the most part. Its underbelly is lighter, and it's very warty.
Ugh.
Okay.
All right.
Someone wanted to head up. Whoops. Someone wanted to head upwards. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to check out what's up there. I'm pointing and you can't see, but
Sure. Okay.
to the
And
north.
does someone have a light source?
I can
Hold
take
on.
a torch and light on fire.
There are also 2 torches burning in this room. You can just take them out of the walls where they're there crackling.
That's. I guess we'd have to go all the way around and get those torches down there, though.
There's one right here.
Yeah, that's down on the floor, isn't it? Or in the
It
bottom
is.
level?
It is.
Pollock.
I don't think you want to ask him to do that because there's no way for us to grab it without going near the fire.
What do you mean?
Were you gonna ask him to hand it up?
Yes.
Doesn't somebody have a mage hand?
Ah, this would be a good. I'll say I've got this, and
Actually,
I'll start doing my little chant. And do you need me to roll for it?
Nope, nothing to roll. You extract the basic torch out of it's just a little crevice in the wall that it's jammed into. You have it, and
All right.
you can see there are
I actually
a couple,
don't. Oh. I was
There are a
gonna.
couple of
Oh, sorry.
hovels here. They have a few trappings in them where you can tell that somebody, probably the dead woman,
And the toad.
stays, rests, hangs around.
Right.
Magos approaches the area and he kind of looks puzzled because he said, "Am I crazy, or was the hag talking to someone else?
I think she was talking to the toad.
I thought I heard a second voice. Perhaps I'm still sleepy."
There was a second voice. It was low and indistinct, mumbly. It was also a language that no one was familiar with.
Let's get down from here.
I want to do an investigation check on both sides.
Very well.
Do you want me to just roll 2 different dice for one
Just
for the
roll
left
one.
and one for
Just
the
roll
right?
one time.
All right. Oh God.
And Magos will try to navigate down.
Oh
the,
crap. That's a 9.
Okay. I guess I should have asked just a little bit more information about what you're doing with your investigation check.
I'm just gathering information about, like, is there any beds or is there an obvious pallet?
There's not a bed in the sense of a bed frame, mattress, straw,
Right.
blankets, anything of that nature, but there is definitely a sleeping area that has some woven shawl-like cloths laid down, and it's not well organized, and there are just small basic containers made out of dried mud and perhaps here or there a clay jar. There's basic shelves that are just hollowed out little areas in the wall. You look around and nothing really catches your eye as you just essentially pick through everything there.
All right. Even with that crappy roll, could I look under the what I assume she used as a covering?
No roll is necessary to do that. You just
Right.
literally go and you just look
Yeah.
underneath it, and there is just dirt.
All right.
Magos will scale down the escarpment. I asked Pollock if I fall, could you please catch me?
I will do what I can, but I am not entirely strong. And he looks at his arms, which are actually incredibly lean and Sorry. I don't know if you guys heard that. We're having a lightning storm here in New Mexico.
Uh-oh.
No, I didn't hear a thing.
All right. Okay, cool. That just scared the shit out of me. Anyway, lean. Yeah, I said it was lean. Yeah, Pollock is lean, like he's He's been working the hammer for a very extremely long time. He's muscular, but not in a very.
He's not bulky.
Uh-oh.
He may have.
I think he got struck. I think he might have gotten struck by lightning.
Wow. Sorry about that. I thought he was a.
That was odd.
All right. As they're having this conversation, I would, having my lantern already lit from previously, I would like to walk around and look toward the root area while they're investigating these small alcoves.
Okay. And are you going to take up that other torch, or do you have a light source of your own?
I have a lantern of my own.
You have a lantern? Okay.
Yes.
So you go
About
there.
Yes.
It's very, very thick. They are basically blocking your way.
This will be my first time seeing it since I haven't been this close. And I would look at it and think, Jesus, does it look like the frog could have gotten through this area?
It would be very difficult. You're not entirely sure if that giant toad could squeeze through. It's probably not. It'd probably be too thick. Even for you, it looks like it would take quite a bit of squeezing and maneuvering to pick your way through this.
So that would stand to reason that this old woman and this frog primarily kept residence in this first chamber, and that's what I was curious about. So I would wander back into this living area, and I would hear them talking, like, catch me if I fall.
Magos, go do your athletics check.
Did you see anything down there?
That's a 12 athletics.
A lot of roots.
Good enough.
And I will be showy and do a backflip off of it. Because that's my thing.
All right. Make an acrobatics check.
Yep. That is high. I used my I think it's called Elven expertise.
Mm-hmm.
So I get double my proficiency bonus on acrobatics checks. So that is 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 14 is 30. Wait.
No,
Yeah,
no,
30. No.
23.
It's 23. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Maybe I have been at work all week. My math is not normally this bad. I was putting a 1 before the 9.
Magos says, you relay this information to Magos, and Magos says, do you think fire would make this a little easier?
Hello.
Was I able to do my backflip, or did I fall on my face?
It is it's a wonderful backflip. You come flying and twirling off the ledge there, and you land with the grace of a lynx.
And I'm just like, ta-da. And of course the Russian judge gives me a 3.
The frog twitches and holds up 3 fingers.
I would simply reposition the scarf that I have around my neck a little higher up on my face. That you've described this area to be is not so great on me.
It is very damp down here.
And I would say, is there nothing up there? What did you see?
We didn't see anything of importance, just living quarters.
I'll show him the orb. Have you seen anything like this in your travels, friend?
No. I would be wary of picking things up that you do not know. Remember the jewel?
This is different. This isn't magical.
That is fantastic.
It's just normal.
You can have it though.
All right. You sure? And I'll kind of like, you sure you don't want to, take a closer look?
Yes. I take a step back. I'm quite sure.
All right.
Razvan, you said you ran to the Chamber of Roots.
Yes, this way. And I would kind of usher them back around the frog.
I follow.
Everybody gone?
Yes. Pollock is catatonic, I think.
Yeah, he got struck by lightning.
Yeah.
We can role play him as being lost in thought. That scene character's dynamic is
Yeah.
kind of struggling with some internal dilemmas.
Yes.
He has been that way indeed.
Dealing with the fact that his grandmother passed away.
You don't
That's
know that.
that's a very gentle way of putting it. All right, so this is what you all see, more or less. What are you doing here?
I suppose that there's only. I ask Razvan to try to cut it with like a. Do you have like a short sword or bigger?
No, I have a dagger.
I
And would
will.
let these groups,
I will
quickly.
take my,
Sorry, Brice. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
What's the average size of these roots? You said that they're very dense, and on the screen they look to be pretty gigantic from this above tree.
They are big.
So it'd be
There are
more-
some smaller ones. You know how roots go. They'll have, the
Yeah.
central stalk that's the biggest, and they'll have smaller ones shooting off from it. But there are many of them that are the size of your arm or even thicker.
Yes. So we're under the impression it's almost like Fangorn Forest, where there's basically branches and roots growing in every direction. Can I attempt to just finagle my way in a little ways, or
Mhm.
does there not seem to be any kind of path without some hackery?
Make a dexterity check.
Sure.
Hey, those are things that we're good at.
That would be a 22.
It's slow going, but you're making your way through. Where do you want to go?
I would like to go in just deep enough to get a feeling of how big the chamber on the inside is, because I don't imagine I could see the entire thing from where I was.
It obscures your view quite a bit. So you're just gonna walk into the middle of it.
Sure. And once I get a good eye for how big the room is, may I roll a perception check to see if I can see these two other corridors?
You already see them. There are
Oh,
two
good.
tunnels, and each of them are descending a gentle slope downward. You also feel something odd
boy.
when you're in the middle of this chamber.
I guessed as much.
It's hard to really say what exactly it is, but there is a strange kind of prickling feeling at the back of your head.
I would, this whole time I would have like one hand pressed down to try and keep my hat on, pushing through all these roots. And I'd slowly start to shake my head and realize that something's not quite right. It's been a very topsy-turvy day with what I understand to be natural.
Hmm.
And I would kind of,
Yes.
I would back up as best as I could
Mm-hmm.
toward where they are, and then tell them that the room seems a little strange to me, and we may need to cut our way in to make it easier to go through. So it would be
How
something
dry are the
like,
branches?
I'm sorry?
How dry are the branches? Probably not very dry, right?
They're not dry.
All right,
They're not.
never
They're
mind.
not. They're not dripping wet, but they are moist, living roots.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to burn them.
Hmm.
I hate to bypass, but since Barker was dropped, I would ask very gently, Pollock, may I borrow a sword, please?
Okay, so Pollock,
I can't imagine he would give it.
I'm not quite sure what all he actually
have a short sword.
has.
Oh, you do? Fine,
Yeah, I
let me
have a short
borrow
sword.
yours.
I'll be like,
please.
yeah,
Machete.
Thank you. And I try to cut away some of the branches, just like picking left side of the wall and trying
you
to kind of
noticed
hack them
that-
away.
You notice that it hasn't exactly been used ever.
Brand new.
Alexander hands you an unused short sword, and you use that to hack. This is Razvan who's hacking.
Yes.
Okay, so you're laboring at this, and this is some real manual labor that you're doing here.
hmm
Can you give me an idea of what you're trying to accomplish?
I honestly want to see how difficult it would be to cut our way through the room. If it seems that it would be very difficult, like I suspect it will be, then that will change my suggestion to the group. So I'm not trying to chop my way like a brush cutter all the way into the room. I'm just trying to gauge how hard these roots would be to cut away.
I'll try something. I'll be like
it's not complicated at all. It's just
Labor intensive.
Labor intensive.
Oh, okay.
So
I was
after
gonna
about
try doing that.
15, maybe 16 swings, I would sit down on the mud, and I would hand the sword back to Alexander, and I'd be panting a little heavily. I'd say, like, it seems this may be our only option, but
I'll
I'm
do
my
it.
best for this.
I say I'll do it, and I get
Okay.
to work.
All right, so it sounds like Alexander's doing some work here.
Yep.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
All right, just to get through all this stuff. Let's see. Constitution is not. No, it's. I did not, or I do not have it as a proficiency. 15.
And are you wanting to go straight to the middle, one of the tunnels?
Yeah, I just want to go into the middle, take a look around the room, and see if I can see anything other than the doorways.
Okay. You've cleared a basic path straight to the center of this room. You probably break a little bit of a sweat, but you're keeping on top of your
Right.
energy levels. And you see, as I've described here, two tunnels, maybe about 4 feet wide at the most, sloping downwards a little bit as they go down further into the shadows and wind.
Not that it would change anything, but Razvan would be pretty much right behind him, kind of moving as he progressed every
Okay.
5 or so feet.
And actually, Alexander, you might be able to see some more distance with the
I don't think
vision.
I don't think I would be able to see the top one, but maybe the one to the right.
The one to the right, you can. I'll just describe it this way. You can see in a little ways, but it winds so that the sides of the tunnel block your view.
All right.
But there is, there is this little area here that I'll go ahead and I'll just reveal that. I know you can't quite see all of it, but you see you see this section here.
Right. I guess I'll, since I can see that, and I don't want to, a winding tunnel doesn't really interest me right now with me being at the front, so having something that I can see, probably better. So
All right,
I
so you
guess
finish
we'll
you
do
finish
that.
clearing a path, and there's a path that goes all the way from this leftmost entry point straight to the center, and then here to this upper tunnel. And we'll just let your Constitution saving throw hold you fast all the way through that.
All right.
You do feel also something a little bit odd as you pass at the center of this room. There's just
I would have asked him while the shink, 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 shink was happening, do you feel a little strange in here as well?
I don't know how I would describe it, but weird or strange is
strange
one
kind
of
of
the.
creeping feeling at the back of your head.
Does it feel like somebody's watching me?
No, that's it. That's not the way that it would feel.
Okay. It's not a pleasant feeling. It's weird. Definitely weird.
So then it is not just me being tired.
No.
I thought I may have been losing my mind.
Well, friend, we all know that's true. But let us get our compatriots and head on down this way.
Magos?
I will shout at him saying, Magos, Magos, will you bring Pollock?
The way is clear. We can go.
I tug Pollock along, and hopefully he follows suit as we follow you into this chamber.
I
Yes.
feel like we've just got a leash on Pollock right now.
Magos, when you enter the passing through here, the centermost part, you feel something as well, and you can see something in Pollock's eye that he probably feels it along with you. And there is a moment where you, inside of your mind, you see flashes of this vision, this dream rather, that you'd had before. You feel like you've been here. The mucky ground beneath your feet looks almost like brain matter, like a actual brain, and these tendrils all around are roots that you have seen in this dream, and they look almost like blood vessels or maybe lightning bolts rippling and snaking about, connecting to you and through you. And you again see this vision of this field of statues and these lightning bolts striking the ground from marching columns of dark clouds overhead. And you can see the statues closer. It's as if you're there in the field of statues this time. And they have these horrible looks. They look like an army. They look like warriors. And there is a tower, white like ivory, in the near distance, the relatively near distance. And this squadron of stone warriors look like they are fleeing away from this tower. And you catch something here and there. There are shapes moving amongst the statues. People with slithering, snake-like appendages.
Magos, he just looks like, he tries to catch himself, and he says, I had the vision again. This time worse.
You kind of come to, and I have like a hand on your arm. Magos?
Magos, you can hardly hear him when he's saying these things to you. In his hand, you don't even feel it. All you feel are these roots connecting to you.
Magos.
It's something. There's some sort of connection here, which is trying to work its way through, or maybe you are trying to work your way through. Make an Arcana check.
Oh no. That is a that is a 8.
There's a feeling like a bolt of lightning striking your head, and it makes you collapse to the ground and black out. And when the blackness gives way, before the blackness gives way, there is the voice of Galades calling to you. He sounds very, very far away. Magos! Magos! Can you hear me?
Yes. Where are you?
His voice is so indistinct you can hardly hear it. It's so far off. It's reverberating from somewhere so far away, and you try to concentrate on this voice, and you see a vision of Issa, the woman to whom you are betrothed, your soon-to-be wife, and she's talking, but it's not her talking. It's Galades talking through her.
What the?
And then the darkness fades, and you see that you're here in this chamber with your allies nearby you, concerned looks upon their faces, possibly shaking at you.
Magos!
Can I hear them now?
Yes. Also, the euphoric sense is gone.
Magos seems a lot sterner and a lot more just a lot more stern than he did before. He said, and without any thought or warning, he brushes himself off and collects himself, and he says, let's keep moving.
Are you okay?
Very well.
I'm fine. I had a vision. Just let's keep going. It's nothing you would understand.
All right. I I guess I will just go on. Go. And I kind of usher you to
Yeah.
go ahead of me. That way
Yeah,
I can
I go,
kind of
I
keep
go.
an eye on you.
Actually, I'm gonna say, how about Pollock gets up front? I'm not feeling exactly great.
Uh,
So Pollock, he looked as if something was affecting him as well. Not quite as severely as Magos, but still. Um, Unfortunately, it looks like Barker cannot get reached here.
he may have lost power.
He sent me a couple messages here.
Might have been struck by lightning.
No, he sent me a couple messages that he was trying to reconnect.
I've known that from his previous videos he's had connection problems before, so he lives out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. I'll send him a message then and see if he responds.
This is a good chance. How would Alexander go about regaining some of his?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
We can't rest for 8 hours, unfortunately.
No.
But is there any
We
way
could-
to expend one hit die, for instance?
It'd be a short rest.
Yeah.
But a short
Yeah,
rest is
unless
8
you've
hours.
got some sort of
That's right.
way, you just any normal
long
sort of
rest.
healing is a short rest.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I don't have any healing magic, so he's probably screwed.
And that does include the salve of healing, correct? That can only be used during a short rest.
Right. It's like it's like an ointment you put on before you go to sleep or something.
Right, you use
Pretty-
it.
I'm-
Yeah, it's an ointment for your wounds.
All right, I understand.
I'm pretty sure a short rest is only 4 hours, right?
No, in this campaign setting, it's longer.
It's
Oh,
8.
okay.
The short rest is like your sleep for the night. A long
Right.
rest is 5 days of downtime.
Oh yeah. My bad.
So
I remember
You kinda-
now.
you kind of turn and look back at the group, and you're like, you try to tell Pollock to go ahead, and I finally noticed that you are kind of grimacing a little bit as you finish
Yeah,
cutting
I've
the roots.
tried to be strong, but I can't do this anymore. It's taking a toll on me.
And I would kind of see that as I try to usher Magos in front, and then I'd be like, actually, let me look in this place. Maybe we don't need to run into any more trouble. Agreed?
Yes.
Hopefully.
And I would kind of push past. And
Mhm.
unless there's anything barring my way, I would like to sneakily try to go down this winding staircase.
Okay.
Or path. Sorry.
Sure. So you move ahead quiet as you can down this slope, and it's quickly looking more fashioned, more constructed. You're seeing actual blocks of stone, and you can tell somebody was putting in a section adjoining to this root cave.
So the
you
walls
see-
seem shored up.
Exactly. The walls are shored up. They're built up with actual blocks of stone. You see a doorway. It's actually a stone door, a carven door. You see a second one farther down, and it's broken to pieces, and some chunks of rubble lie there on the ground. So this is what you're seeing as you're crouching around the corner there, holding out your lantern.
And do I hear anything in particular?
It is completely silent.
Eerily so?
Well, it's not eerily so, but other than maybe some just natural ambience, you don't hear any other distinct sounds.
All right.
Magos will quickly join you.
I would kind of motion.
Magos will get in front of Alexander, and maybe Pollock can shore up the rear.
And then I would like to continue going until I see something special.
Okay, well you just let me know. You come to this door. It looks older. Yeah, it has kind of slimy, moldy bits on it. The walls have um, crusts of niter here and there. This place looks old and in disrepair.
Does the door have any type of view slot or anything, or is it just a solid wooden door?
It is a solid slab of stone.
Ah, stone door.
Mm.
Magos will get right behind you.
I kind of pat it. I lock eyes with Magos. I kind of pat the door, and then I just keep going.
Okay, you keep walking down the corridor.
Yes.
Okay. Come all the way to this busted open entryway, and you can see there's a couple chambers beyond. I don't know if your lantern quite fills up all that much, but you can see most of that.
Mm-hmm.
I would also have the hold on, wait. I didn't read anything about if Mage Hand was affected, but can I keep it going for long enough to have it held out in front of us?
Yeah, if you want to just have your mage hand like holding the torch nearby.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
anything that breaks
I-
my concentration.
Yeah, I
just-
think it. Let me
I don't
see.
think it's particularly worth it, to be honest.
Well, just to keep it so we don't have to go up there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's great for certain circumstances, but traversing the room, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Especially since you specifically have low light vision, you would see much further and much clearer, but in crappier color than I would. So
Alright.
you'd be able to see practically the stairs, and I would see a little past that hole in the ground.
All right, that's fine. Never mind.
Alexander, just to let you know, the mage hand will last for 1 minute, and you can essentially renew it after that if you feel that's what you need to do. I will say that it's not common that you continually have mage hand going over and over again, so you're not quite sure what would happen if you just
Right.
indefinitely had that going.
Right.
But for a few minutes, or for the
Well, I
amount of
wouldn't-
time of doing some exploration here, you can have it.
I probably
essentially
wouldn't be
just-
able to do it that long anyways because of, the wounds I've sustained.
Mhm.
It's going to take a lot from my concentration.
Sure. So for now, we'll say it's holding this torch next to you, but for how much longer you're going to hold that there, we'll see.
Right.
The area is in ruin. Some areas of the wall still are holding up fine, but there are other chunks that are crumbling. And in fact, as soon as you can get a view of it, the right-hand side, the entire wall has collapsed in.
Magos, does Magos see all of this?
He really doesn't. A lot of it just is upon where you're situated now. You can mainly just get a glimpse into this room that you're right next to here, maybe a bit through this broken, crumbled section of wall. There's also bits in the floor that look like burrows or tunnels.
I would go
Magos.
into the room, by the way.
Razvan?
Yes, I would start heading into the room
Mm-hmm.
while Magos is taking a look around. I don't want to stand in the doorway and have them try to peek around me, so I would go into the room.
Straight into the middle or any particular part?
Let's go to the right, away from the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm not, at this point, I wouldn't be sure if the ground was quite solid, so I wouldn't want to risk falling or anything.
Okay. And Magos, where do you want to go?
I'm going to go ahead and kind of get right into the room, just like right about there.
Alexander?
I'll be right about behind him.
Magos? Right about behind Magos?
Yeah. Actually, I would want to, let me see how far out my, mage hand reaches. I think it's not very far, but I wanted to check down those holes.
35 feet.
Yeah, I want to check down those holes, see what I see.
Okay. You take a look down and hold your torch by way of your mage hand. The tunnel goes at an angle and is going down into to the right underneath the ground, like a burrow.
Not good, not good.
By the way, Barker messaged me back and he says that his internet is shot. Here's my recommendation for what we should do. Let's back everyone out of this cave. People are worn down. People are freaked out. It's already nighttime. I know a couple people could use the short rest. I say let's back everyone out of this. You guys can then go into resting, and then we can maybe explore this area here on the Scarred Coast, and then come back to this root cave next time we're able to connect with Barker.
Okay.
So we can roleplay it as giant frog nearly tore Alexander in half. Maybe we should go outside and get some sleep, and then consequences arise.
Yeah, and you can edit the video to where all these things can happen chronologically in some way.
Right.
It's a good thing this isn't like a Google Hangout Live, because then it'd be really weird. A lot of retconning going on.
So the party is at a difficult spot. Pollock, his mind his mind and his emotions are a bit overwhelmed from everything that's gone on, and from the disorientation of the strange turn this journey has taken. Razvan is worn down and weary. Alexander is wounded. Magos too has been through a lot. The concept of pressing on at the moment seems daunting, and the party feels that it's going to be better to pull away from this root cave now, do some resting, maybe look at some other areas before regrouping and coming back into the root cave below this ancient gargantuan tree.
Excellent.
It is nightfall when you emerge out from underneath the old tree. The sun has just set. The mists, the fog is ever present. It has not abated in the least, and it's incredibly difficult to find bearing here. The sky above is completely overcast. You see nothing of stars or moon, and you hear rumbles of thunder off in the direction of the coast.
It looks like it may rain.
A druid, are you?
No, but this is the temperament of the climate back home.
Very
Do
well.
you smell it?
Of course,
Take
of
a-
course.
Take a deep breath through your nose, and you can kind of get this hint of almost mildewy, that smell of grass and rain.
We need to find shelter. I doubt we do. I doubt we want to sleep out here in front of this tree.
I specifically do not know. Can you find your way in the dark?
I think I possibly could. I can keep lighting your lantern with fire if need be.
I look over at Alexander. He's like, you are always a skilled one in the dark.
I'm okay with the dark. Oh, why am I
Okay.
doing an accent? I decided not to do an accent.
So
forgot.
the party is very weary and worn down physically and mentally. Where do you guys want to rest at? There's a pretty wicked storm brewing here, and it's coming from the direction of the coast.
The only place we know of is that cave with the lady in it.
I knew somebody was going to suggest that.
That's our only choice.
It's one of the only landmarks around this area that we know specifically how to find, so I'm not against that at all.
Yeah. I guess we can set up camp inside or outside of the cave.
In the main room, of course.
Yeah.
Inside.
With all the spiders. There was a lot of spiders in there, so that's kind of why I didn't want to. And also, I don't want to sleep next to the frog.
Oh, I'm at the cave.
No.
The other cave.
The other cave.
Oh,
the cave with the coins.
The cave of
food,
wondrous,
and
crazy
the
stuff.
nymph.
I was like, then I'm going to suggest even more furiously that we don't do that.
Magos says, well, that's where I'm sleeping tonight.
Razvan has a hand on his elbow, and he's kind of working it really slowly, like his joints are starting to get kind of stiff. And he says, I believe I may throw my lot in with the man who can conjure fire. Come on. I'll take turns.
I'll pat Razvan on the back and say, you're getting too old for your age, and start walking off in the direction that we know that the cave is in.
The whole time I sound a little muffled because I'm talking through this scarf.
Okay, so with varying degrees of accordance, the party begins the trek in a direction that you believe is heading back towards the cave. Whoever is in the lead here, make a survival check.
I guess that would be...
Yes, that would be you.
Razvan, probably.
Oh, you
No,
want me to
no,
do it? I'll do it.
because I have the best vision in these conditions, I would suggest that I do it. Shit. That's a natural 1, guys.
Warn me now, and you can't say anything.
So,
You
that's
wander around
that's
for
a 2.
You wander around for a time in the darkness and the thick fog, while rumbles of thunder play ominously in the distance. Everybody make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 1.
That's a...
I'm gonna stop using this dice.
I got a 4.
Razvan rolled a 12.
Okay. Razvan, you are holding up okay.
Surprisingly.
Magos, if surprisingly so.
I'm vomiting.
Alexander and Magos, you each are exhausted. You suffer a level of exhaustion. It's getting very late, and you're very fatigued and worn. So you have disadvantage on ability checks that would span over into skills. So here's the decision. Someone can attempt another survival check. With a success, you'll find your way to the cave. With a failure, you are going to be lost, exhausted, and possible other dangers.
You want me to give it another try?
No.
With,
Well, you don't.
with a
you
different dice?
You don't have to. You can just try to sleep right here.
You and Magos are kind of walking in the lead, and I'm kind of picking up the rear. And I would see you're starting to walk a little slower in the muck in some of these more areas, and I kind of hear that the storm's off in the wrong direction from where you're leading us. And I would say, do you want to try to make camp here, or do you want me to maybe use the map and try to find the cave? I don't think you know where you're going, Alexander.
I know where we're going. and I'll kind of fall asleep. Right. I know where we are. I know where we are.
All right. You can do this. You can do this, royal dice. Oh my God! Natural 20. That would be a
We're having some
22. Oh my God! I can't believe
here.
it.
Nice.
Oh my God!
Excellent.
I love
That's
you.
a natural.
I love you.
Razvan, you lead your party to the cave. You're all exhausted, but you make it there. And I will award you 25 experience points. Who cleared that path through the roots? That was Alexander, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'll award you 25 for that. I kind of forgot.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
merciful DM.
You say that now.
I just thought that I would ask, do you reward XP in place of 5th edition's inspiration?
I reward inspiration as well. Though
Oh,
sometimes it can be easy to forget or overlook it. So just remind me if you think there's something inspiration worthy.
Okay. I was just
I
curious.
Was there anything from last session that we think's inspiration worthy?
Yeah. I told you that that frog should get should get advantage on trying to swallow me. Yeah.
I would.
I did play to my flaw, and I went to
Yes.
the pool with the woman.
I would say that
Yeah,
Magos playing specifically to his flaw, even when he as a player knew better, was inspiration worthy, in my opinion.
Agreed. Inspiration awarded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The
All right.
the cave is it's a welcome sight, and by the time you get there, it's pouring rain. So you all are
I'm
fairly
actually
well.
already asleep.
You're sleepwalking through the pouring rain.
I have a hand on his collar, kind of pushing him along.
Yeah, you're just stumbling and trudging your way along. You're completely drenched, all of you. You get inside the cave. It's just as you last saw it. There's this large chamber. This beginning chamber is very, very big, and it's up a little ways into these hills. It's a fairly dry chamber here, so it's seemingly a welcome sight to you. And here's where you all plan to take your rest. I would imagine you're all fairly exhausted. You're just going to kind of hit the floor and sleep.
I'll try to put down a bedroll of some sort.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'll try and put out a bedroll. Also, I'll get about halfway through and just be asleep.
Seeing that I was the one who made the Constitution saving throw and am not exhausted as the rest of my party is, I would kind of mother hen them a little bit.
Sure.
And get them comfortable, start a fire, scrounge up the little bit of wood that I have and any wood that I could find immediately, and get everything set up so that we can get a good rest through the night and through the rain.
Sure. So they probably fall asleep right away. You're still doing okay. The fire's difficult, but you're able to get a small one going, little flames crackling there. Probably won't last for too long, but it's nice. It feels good. And you're there. Maybe you're making sure everything looks okay in the area, like you said, kind of tending everything as you can. And everybody make a wisdom saving throw.
Do we take disadvantage on this because we're asleep?
No disadvantage.
I got an 18.
Wait, why did I roll twice then? No, the first one was a 19.
Okay.
I was too busy trying to start the fire and get things ready. My mind was slipping. I only rolled a 7.
Oh!
It was nice knowing you, Roswell.
See you later, buddy. Hey, the pool lady's back.
Someone had a high roll in there. Who rolled that? Was a 19, right?
That was Magos.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, wait, I got an 18.
Okay, the 19 was Alexander.
Yes.
There's a point in the night where you wake up, Alexander,
Crap.
because you hear something. It's pitch black. The storm is still raging outside. You hear just a deluge of rain, and you hear thunder not too far away, loud booms and claps. But there was some kind of movement that woke you up.
All right.
You're
Where?
tired, but
Yeah.
something.
So I'm not. No
There's
matter
something in
what,
the
I'm not gonna
darkness.
get. No matter what, I'm not gonna get my short rest. So I will try and see what it is. I guess that's just gonna be perception.
What were you saying about the
or-
short rest?
Because I woke up, I wouldn't be getting my short rest.
Oh no,
so-
I don't mean that. I just mean this is something that's happening in the middle of the night.
Right. No, what I mean is like, I'm still exhausted.
You don't have to sleep the whole 8 hours.
No,
you just
but
don't
right,
have
right,
to do anything crazy.
right now I'm exhausted is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a disadvantage on this perception check.
Okay.
But both of those were really nice rolls, and that is a 20.
You hear the sound of Razvan talking to somebody.
What? Huh.
Does Magos hear this as well?
Magos is asleep.
Okay.
What type of conversation am I having?
Yeah. What's she talking about?
Alexander, you listen carefully, and it's a very, very abnormal conversation. And what did he do after he took the veins into him? I saw there was something in his expression. He was learning something, I think.
Wait, so there's
You
two
know
voices?
how- This is the voice of Razvan.
Okay.
I hope I'm doing him justice.
It's
Of
fine.
course you are.
He's, I think, some kind of sorcerer. I don't know exactly his ways, but he was learning something. You should take him back there and find a way to keep him there. Yes.
Yeah,
Maybe he can replace the witch.
I'm gonna poke
Yes.
at Magos and say, shh. And I'm gonna try and do this quietly. So stealth. Awesome. That is.
Disadvantage.
I rolled twice. So stealth is a +5. 6, 7. Because of the proficiency bonus. So that is a 19.
Magos kind of flinches and he says very quietly, "What? What is it?"
Oh God. I point to Razvan and say, "Listen."
Magos, Alexander, essentially you're able to keep quiet, get your friend awake, and communicate with him a bit here. And Magos, if you want to listen in, you can make a perception check. You will have disadvantage.
I'm sitting like 15 or 20 feet away, kind of looking at the wall, hunched over, talking, twitching a little bit.
I don't think they can see you. It's totally dark.
I might be able to see him a little bit. but
There's no light at all.
Oh, no light at all.
Mm-mm.
So his fire just went out. Okay.
It was
Crap.
a small fire, and it didn't last
right.
for about maybe an
It
hour.
just
Right.
smells
That might-
smoky in the room.
That's probably why he's gone insane. Now with my history with him, would I be able to remember anything like this ever happening on any of our jobs?
Not at all. Nothing. You've never seen anything or observed anything like this.
And I also got a 6 with my roll.
You don't hear anything. You don't know what he's talking about.
And then Magos says, "Elf, go to sleep."
I will not go to. I'm not saying this to him. I'm just. I will not go to sleep. I am going to listen.
You listen. This conversation continues. Razvan's talking to someone who has a really odd manner of speaking. You can't quite place any kind of accent that you know of. And
so I can't actually hear a second voice.
You hear two voices, Razvan
Crap.
and a second voice.
Right.
Second voice, you can't really place
Right.
an accent on it. It's an odd, low, guttural, a bit raspy of a voice.
Do they sound like they're close to each other, or does he sound like he's like...
Relatively close. It doesn't sound like they're shouting from across the room or anything.
Right,
And,
otherwise he would have heard it.
yes. And the conversation gets more and more frantic. It almost turns into a debate, and he's trying. This person is trying to convince Razvan that Magos needs to stay trapped and bound by the roots under this tree so that he can change into something. You're not sure what exactly it is that they're talking about. And this debate kind of goes on, and it never seems to resolve. And it eventually it quiets down, and you're feeling very tired.
Right.
Do you want to try to stay awake, or
I
just go
don't.
back to sleep? Okay.
I think it would be good to, like, I want to stay awake, but I just don't think I could.
Okay. So it quiets down and it dies down, and then it's silent for a while, and that's the last thing you remember.
Right.
You all awaken the next.
I'll just rest my eyes for a little bit.
You all awaken the next day to find Razvan just in a strange state. His eyes are open. He's not. He didn't sleep at all, and he has like these cold sweats, and he's mumbling and rocking a little bit there. Razvan, make a charisma saving throw.
If you fail it, we all hate you.
19.
Whoa.
Oh, crap.
We love him.
Excellent. Other than not having slept at all and feeling dazed, there's no other lingering effect, and I imagine your allies kind of break you out of this.
I slap Razvan into consciousness.
I like just start blinking real heavily and rubbing my eyes and
What does
I will say, do you want to talk about last night?
what about last night?
Or
Magos-
does he
Magos
not
also
remember
says-
anything about last night?
Razvan, you feel absolutely exhausted. You don't feel like you slept at all.
And I don't remember anything, I take it.
Vague, kind of like how you may remember very brief flashes of a dream or a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'll tell him what I heard, and I will be very emphatic about it so he knows that I'm not lying.
And Magos goes, "Really?"
I don't recall anything specific. I just could not sleep with the storm.
Magos grabs you by the not grabs, but kind of puts his hand to your head and he says, "Relax for a moment. Just wait.
Mm.
I have something." And Magos pulls out his spell book, flips to a page, and he incites some sacred words to invoke detect thoughts.
Did I get any health back?
Yes.
I didn't use a salve, but
Right. We'll we'll do the hit point recovery here in just a sec.
right. My bad.
No worries.
So I'll try, as you're chanting this and you tell me to, like, think about what happened, I'll try to recall whatever I can, and then you'll try to detect those thoughts, I
Yes.
suppose?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're willingly letting me probe into your mind, so he doesn't have to make a wisdom save, right?
Well, I'm not even sure what it is you're doing, but I'm trusting you to not screw me over, so
So he
whatever you gotta
Yeah.
do.
We see how far that's gotten me.
Razvan, you are trusting of your comrade here, and he says some words, and maybe he touches you. What do you do here?
I stopped touching him, but I sit very close to him and I whisper next to him in some Palagosian, whatever the spell words may be, Isven or it could be something along those lines. Whatever would cause me to cast detect thoughts.
Mm-hmm. You incite the arcane phrase and probe into the mind of your ally. So, Razvan can tell you, or rather, JB could tell you what his character's thoughts are, but it sounds like you're wanting to go below just these surface thoughts.
Yes.
So as you put it, it would be like trying to remember a dream, and I'm not under the impression that I can recall specifics of even the conversations, but giving him, since he didn't hear anything, I don't know that as a character, but as a player I do. I imagine that detect thoughts would let him get a feel for what it was, like this feeling that I had during the night that kept me up and made me feel exhausted. Almost empathy more than the actual reading of my mind.
Mm-hmm. You make a good point. So there's a certain threshold where you cross from more cognizant thoughts and phrases into more primal and emotional impulses. There are brief feelings and flashes that you get, Magos, of a voice, a presence in the darkness, something unhuman, something old, something trying to persuade your friend away from his normal mental state, away from that which he would typically want to do. You feel a stark touch, like you are up against the brink of madness. Make a charisma saving throw.
Me?
Yes, you.
That's it's a 15.
There is a horrific barrage of feelings and images that flood over you. By the way, Razvan, you receive 75 experience points for successfully thwarting madness.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Oh, you have, we just did this. You have Inspiration Magos. Do you want to use it?
Yes. Would I not pass this with a 15?
He can't tell you.
That's true. That was a dumb metagame question.
Meta! I'm going to get a meta button.
Okay, this next one's an 8. This next one's an 18. With my inspiration expended. Sorry.
Excellent. You experience a bout of vivid hallucinations, faces without proper arrangement or numbers of eyes and mouths and organs, languages that make no sense, strange, slithering, oozing things that dwell underneath the earth where there is no light, screams, shouts, frantic, raving, mad, lunatic voices, and it is everything you can do to keep it from overwhelming you entirely. You snap out of this mind-probing enchantment that you have been employing upon your comrade here before you completely spiral into this pit of madness. I also award you 75 experience points.
You see Razvan's piercing emerald green eyes looking back at you, and he just has this knowing glance on his face. And he's like, I think I know what you're feeling.
So did you say that I am mad now?
You are not.
Oh, good. So
Good thing you had that inspiration.
yeah.
But you do know, or at least you do get a very real sense that behind the tempting delights of this cave, there is something very corrupt and very foul.
Magos closes the book, slides it into his pouch, scratches his very well-kept beard, which has probably grown a little bit, and he hasn't had a chance to shave. And he says, gentlemen, I may be going out on a limb here, but I think this cavern might be, how do I put this? There may be dark magic at work. Yes, cursed.
Oh yeah.
I do believe you used that.
Sorry.
I do believe you used that exact word the last time we were in this cave. I think that you are right both times.
I'm pacing. Magos is pacing around with his hands clutched together on his back, and he's pacing around the cave, just kind of almost in like, just kind of. So, number one, we need to get out of this cave. Number two, it makes me worried to think that after I rendezvoused with that woman, but I don't know. I don't know if that was a demon or I don't know. It puts me on edge.
This entire time, I'm just whispering to myself. I said we shouldn't come back. No one wanted to listen to me.
Out of game. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brice.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Out of game, Razvan never talked with Magos about his interactions with this woman. He only kind of heard it through the grapevine as they were discussing amongst themselves.
Yeah,
So he would take this opportunity to kind of put the two pieces together and say,
oh, kind of like they did.
Sure. He would kind of take a moment and say,
wow.
Did she do anything or say anything worth remembering? Who was she? Where did she go?
A beautiful woman bathing in the cavern. She told me to go to meet a certain person at Thermosala. I can't remember. Some woman, I think. And then she disappeared into the water.
I am no deeply religious man. Do you think that the evil of this place, is it something that we can even escape from? Or should we try to contend with it?
Out of game, we haven't had the vision in the vines yet, or the roots yet.
Yes, that all's taken place. Your characters backed out of that cave once you realized that
How tired we were, and
you were tired, you were worn down, you were wounded, and there was potential danger ahead.
Okay, I relay my entire vision to Alex and Razvan, and I tell them that there are forces here at work that I don't know if we could overcome. but perhaps maybe our sacrifice. I don't know. I just don't really know what to do for once in my life.
Well,
Well, it's good that you can admit that at least. So why don't we? It sounds like you guys aren't quite sure what to do, and that's totally fine. Why don't we touch upon the benefits of the resting and kind of what's happening now that it's morning time, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen next. So a couple different things here. First, I'd like Razvan to make a Constitution saving throw.
That would be an 18.
Okay.
I have a -1 Constitution.
So normally you would probably just be falling unconscious with exhaustion, but your nerves and just your will to survive are pushing you beyond the limits of your normal physical body. You are not suffering penalties of exhaustion, but I will tell you that your character feels that feeling of wanting to get good rest. But otherwise you're still pushing through.
It's a very common thing for Razvan.
And then Magos and Alexander, your exhaustion is gone, so no one has it. And then you each can spend hit dice as you see fit.
I already did. I already got. Okay. I only had a couple damage, so I'm actually back to my full health. I only have 21 hit points.
So I only have 4, right?
Yeah, 4 hit dice.
One for each level.
One for each level. Every time you roll, you add your Constitution modifier to it.
And then hit dice return after 1 week's rest. Correct?
Yeah.
The long rest, which is 5 days of downtime.
5 days.
That.
Oh my goodness.
That recovers all of your hit points and a number of hit dice equal to half
your level. Yeah.
That was really lucky rolling. I have only taken 2 damage.
You did add your Constitution modifier to those, right? Okay.
Okay, so Magos spent 1 hit die and Alexander spent 2. Excellent. So you still have your other 2.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So does that get everyone up to speed then with the resting?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it sounds like everyone is wanting to step outside of this cave, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So that you do, and there are definitely sections of this mist you have not explored. Lots of sections you have not explored. There's the tree with the crows that didn't quite, no one quite figured out what was going on with that. And then, of course, once you're able to fully regroup with Pollock, the root cave still awaits.
Oh, so we're still doing. There's still something more to that tree.
Of course, there's something more to everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but there's something big with that.
The pirate's treasure is in that root cave, according to your map.
Right. No. I'm talking about the one with the crows.
No one quite knew what exactly was going on with those crows.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's something going on there, but I'm not sure if we want to deal with that right now because giants and stuff.
Magos suggests that we should navigate as much of this area as we can and possibly find anything else.
You want? I hear going south is a good idea in times like these.
Yeah.
I would have the map out, and I can't imagine the map is expertly drawn with absolutely every detail on it. More of a rudimentary kind of thing.
The map's rudimentary. It mainly gives you the coastline, the river, those hills to the northwest, that region of hills, the direction of Thermosela and Kriskatai.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, there's a section that marks out where this root cave is, or rather where the pirate's treasure is buried.
Mm-hmm. So as we go along, like this cave we just exited, I would kind of get my bearings and try to jot it down as best I can onto the map.
Okay, so you add that. You add
Yes,
that cave
adding
onto
to the map as we go.
Very good.
What's the weather like outside right now, just real quick?
Drippy.
It's
Bright.
cloudy. It's cloudy, but the rain has ceased, and
Okay.
the fog and the mist is just thicker than ever.
Okay. I've been playing ambience throughout our entire adventure to keep me in the mood.
Yeah, I've been
Nice.
playing heavy metal music, so that's not really ambiotic.
You need some atmospheric black metal.
Yeah. Here, I can switch it over to the Bard song.
South along the coast would probably be the most safe journey, I think.
It's the only,
That way we know what
it's
is...
the only way that we haven't really explored.
Agreed.
If we keep to the coast, I can at least find the way back using this map.
Right. But what if we
Agreed.
have to get off the coast? What if there's just nothing?
Then we will know where we are.
So the party heads to the coast and then begins to take it going southward.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's a lot of these steep cliffs that just drop off all the way down to the sea, to the rushing, crashing tide. You traverse it for a ways until you come out onto something of a peninsula, and at the end of this peninsula there is a cave.
Oh, shoot. That is cool. I
Magos
like that.
says, well, we might as well.
Is that an island off the coast?
You see something of what looks like an island.
Maybe the cave leads to the island.
Yeah.
Let's
Uh,
find out.
Let's go inside this cave. This seems like something that interests me.
Alright.
I guess the tanky tanky rogue, will lead the way.
So you begin making your way up to this rocky formation here, which the cave mouth is located. However, you probably stop and snap and look in the sound from which a large voice comes booming, and you see coming from out of the mist from this direction here, essentially the way you just came from, not quite along the coast exactly, but from this way here, a large giant figure of a person traipsing their way along,
Oh no.
booming and yelling, kaboom, kaboom. The footfalls are heavy.
He's heading towards the cave.
He is
Shut up.
He is heading straight towards you all. He is looking at you now.
Oh.
Shut up back there.
No, I'm gonna find a dark corner of the cave and make myself unseen with a 18, 19 high. That's 23.
Okay, well hold on to your 23. So you're dashing inside the cave.
Yeah. Or just to the lip
Okay.
of the cave.
Sure,
And finding
Magos
a shadow.
on.
Magos?
I'm going to actually this might be a good time to cast invisibility.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be.
I utter some words. I've actually cast this spell a couple times before. I uttered the words somewhat quickly, and you see Magos completely disappear.
And I will whisper under my breath, coward. Because, for all I know, he's trying to run away.
So, if I understand the situation, the three of us are standing here.
No
and
tank.
we see this hulking figure coming through the mist, and we notice he sees us. I
Mhm.
take a step back and I kind of absently reach behind me and touch the crossbow,
Mhm.
and then I hear tick, 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 bum, bum, bum. I look back, and Magos is gone, and Alexander is running to the cave, and then I hear Alexander say, "Coward," and runs away. I look, and looking around, there's absolutely nothing out here other than this outcrop of kind of flat ground and the cave behind us, right?
Yes.
I will shout out to Razvan. I don't think diplomacy's gonna work this time.
I'm not very diplomatic to begin with. You'd know that working with me. Yeah, I would
Think fast.
try to
You have just a split second. What do you do?
run to the cave.
All right. Pollock does the same exact thing. So the three of you dash for the mouth of the cave. Magus, you're invisible. Do you do that as well?
Yeah, I dash for the mouth of the cave.
Okay. So you all hurtle toward the cave, kind of ducking underneath these craggy stalagmite things that are already at the early parts of the cave mouth here. And from behind you, these large rocks, boulder-sized rocks, come flinging and smashing, and this giant just tried to pulverize you and barely missed. So there was a little bit of hesitation in what you just did there, and he stomps up to the entrance, shouting and roaring. He seems to be saying something over and over again, this very crude phrase that's just maybe 3 syllables at most, and he's trying to find more rocks to like throw through the mouth and hit you guys.
It's probably not
Deep
speaking
cave.
Palagosian.
He is not.
How deep is the cave?
It looks like you can keep going in.
I go in. I really do not want to be hit by a
Yeah.
giant rock.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on sneaking along. And actually, that wasn't a 23. That was a 25. I forgot to add my proficiency.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on going and trying to be as stealthy as possible and unseen.
All right, so you're creeping along using whatever cover that you can. Your 3 allies, or the 2 that you can see at least, just kind of go bolting past you. And the giant doesn't so much as throw rocks far into the cave, but more collapse the mouth of the cave and blocks out almost all the sunlight.
Excellent. Well, for me, sucks for y'all.
As the rocks begin to fall and the dust and debris are kicked up,
Oh wait,
I've-
the giant's not in here.
Nope.
Oh,
he kind of smashed the outside so that we'd be trapped in. I would be like back behind a stalactite, and I'd look around, and the last bit of light would fade away. I'd say, "Fuck," under my breath, and I start trying to fish around for my lantern.
I know this is gonna sound ridiculous if it's not true, but I'm just covering all of my tracks. Did he look like he was missing a patch of hair?
The hair that you had obtained from the crow was not enough to be considered a patch. It was a few strands.
But is it the same color?
It was the same color.
Oh. Okay, so I'm not completely crazy.
No, it is the same, a dark, rough, brown, thick hair. So you all entered then from a northern direction. That's where the actual cave mouth is at. You've come in a ways. It was a fairly wide tunnel that was the entrance, and you ran in. It curved to the side into a small chamber. And
Guess we're gonna have to find a new exit.
the 3 visible characters are here in this chamber. Magos, you may or may not be in the same location. On the other side of the chamber, the tunnel continues.
So I'm crouched down and, look, fill it back up with oil and light it up. And I kind of look around and see these other two. I'm like, Magos, Magos, are you here? Is he outside?
You hear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're not sure where Magos is. The lantern lights up. You're in a smaller cavern chamber. You see water running in small little rivulets down the walls. Some water drips from the ceiling. Here and there, there'll be puddles on the floor. The rock in some places has a flowstone look to it. There are stalactites and stalagmites and little bits of gunk and mold growing in places, and the air has that sea breeze smell to it.
Do we want to... I think we should try to just push on through, but if you want to try and find another exit, I'd be fine with that also.
I absently, I'm listening, but not really acknowledging you. I walk back to the mouth of the cave and kind of looked at all the collapsed stones for a long minute.
You hear the giant outside still. He's a bit, his voice is muffled from the collapse, but you hear him out there yelling, stomping around.
I kind of lean my ear in, and then I look back at Alexander's like, I think another exit would probably be in order.
And there's absolutely no way for me to try and like gather enough information to write down or like phonetically spell out what he's saying.
How?
I mean, we already know
how literate would you say your character is?
He's very literate with Palagosian.
He's very literate? Okay.
But with Forlorn, he's I wouldn't say it's great.
Okay, so the parents that took you in, your surrogates, they or perhaps this guild, the Cleftis that you were a part of, they trained you in reading, writing. So you could, what he's saying is pretty rudimentary. It's not complicated, so you can write down to the best of your ability what you think it sounds like.
All right.
Like you said, just phonetically.
All right.
You get out whatever you have to write on.
I have I have a diary, or not a diary, but a journal and just a ink pen.
Okay. So you have some sort of journal, quill, ink. It probably got pretty wet from the rain.
I just said waterproof.
Did you really?
Yeah, like 2 seconds before you said that, I had said it's waterproof. There is waterproofing, right? Because if not, I mean, I can just say that I put it in a plastic bag all the time, but plastic? I have, or not plastic, sorry, just like a bag. My bad.
You open up your sheep's bladder.
Never mind. It's wet. It's wet.
And pull out your journal. There's some parts where the ink is splotched, and other parts are still they still held their integrity. You write down
just drenched.
You write down what you think this giant is shouting, and meanwhile Pollock's looking at you just like, what the hell are you doing?
I like to learn new languages.
It sounds like he wants to kill something. That's what he's saying. Let's go the other way.
Maybe. I'm just keeping this for later in case, we want to try some sort of diplomacy.
Now, I would have already at this point, while he's writing down and Pollock's talking to him, I would have already been walking further into the cave.
Okay.
I am exhausted. and I'm feeling that might string me out more than anything. So I'd be a little kind of wired and just be trudging along. Like,
Yeah, I'll go up
I
to him
want
and
to see
say,
this through to the point where it's almost dangerous to myself.
yeah, I'll say to him, we'll scout out the cave, and if it's not dangerous, or if it's not terribly dangerous, we'll let you take a rest.
Okay, so Alexander makes his notes, and he'll hold on to that and see if it can be useful in some sort of way later. Razvan, you tell your party that you want to press on. So the chamber that I described, the tunnel continues on the other side of the chamber, so you just walk across the room, you're back in the tunnel. It winds on and on and on. It's actually a very long tunnel. It doesn't really seem to have many offshoots here. It just does a long arc. It's a long, wide, irregular arc shape to the tunnel, and it you can probably tell it's not a complicated path. That it kind of arcs you back around in the same direction that it winds completely back around, and you eventually enter into, or you come upon, a larger chamber. This one does have a little bit of sunlight feeding in from the we'll just say the bottom side. This will be to your left. You see a bit of sunlight feeding in. Also to your left, you see a tunnel through which the sunlight is coming, and you hear the sounds of the sea. So there's an opening to your left at the leftmost wall of this large cave room. Okay. Also, at the far side, the opposite side of this large chamber, there is water, like a natural stream, and it has a current to it, and it is flowing out of that exit. So it's flowing out to the sea. At the center of the room, there is a large pool of water, and to your right, there is another tunnel. So there's a tunnel to the right, straight ahead, and to your left. And I said that incorrectly, I believe. I think the water is actually coming from the tunnel to your right.
All right. Quick question about the layout of this cave. You said that this outlet that we ran to was sharp cliffs on the left, right, and past the cave. How far from the cliff to the water?
You're talking outside the cave?
Yes, before we got chased inside.
Okay, so you're talking about like these cliffs here, how far down to the water?
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty decent drop, about 100 or so feet at this point.
Okay, so as we enter the cave and we're going down, I'm not sure if that would actually be a roll to know this, but about how deep down into the cave would my character think he's gone?
Okay, let's see. Roll a survival check.
Sure. That's a 20.
Okay.
Ooh.
Actually, this was pretty easy, so you more than have it there. It's pretty easy to tell that you've gone down so much that you are almost at sea level now.
Okay, that's what I wanted to really know.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that we weren't too high above or too below sea level to like be worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ground
that's
that
perfect.
the ground you're standing on now, it's a wide tunnel. You would say it's very close to sea level. It's a large cavern room. At the center of the room, there is a pool of water. and there's a stream coming from a tunnel to your right. The stream feeds out of that tunnel. It creates the pool, and then it continues on, pouring out of the leftmost tunnel, through which there's the sunlight going and the sound of the sea. And then across the cave at the far side, there is another tunnel, and that one is solid ground.
Okay.
There are a few stalagmites growing out of the ground. There's some rocky parts. A lot of sound of water. The movement of water is definitely the main sound here.
Alexander, thoughts?
I'm sorry, I missed like half of that.
We're
I
inside-
thought that nobody was talking, and so I was just kind of like, but
Okay, we're inside a cave. There's
Right.
a lot of water actually running. There are 3 paths that
No, I
we can
got
go
that.
in.
I got that.
Yeah.
What was the part that you wanted me to
Thoughts?
on where to go?
Sure. You have to remember my character's kind of strung out. And when he
Right.
would hit a decision like this in his exhausted state, he would just kind of look at you and say, "Which way?"
My apologies. I I don't know what happened there. No, I would. Can I see anything out of the ordinary down any of the 3?
Make a perception check.
Woo! That is my second best roll of the night.
Excellent.
But it doesn't do me much good whenever my perception isn't fantastic. So that's 21.
You do see some things. The large pool of water at the center of the room, inside of it, submerged just underneath the surface, is a large mollusk. A really, really large mollusk, like a giant oyster.
Right. I look to Magos and I say, "You still missing that pearl?"
We don't know what
And-
Magos is.
Oh yeah, he's invisible. I look to Razvan and say, "You think we should get a pearl for Magos?" Because I kind of want to open it.
I would say, I think that we just need to go. If you want to look at this, I will go with you. Let's go.
All right. You okay?
Yes. Yes, I'm fine.
You don't sound okay.
I start walking. I start heading that way.
All
Your weary comrade is he's at the end of his patience, and he just starts walking. You join him as well.
I kind of stand there with that kind of look, and then I'm just like, very well, and I walk with him.
Okay. You get very close to the large watery pool at the center of the room. A stream of water is feeding into it from your right and then flowing out of it to your left side. There is a voice. Let's see. It sounds like Razvan walked first, so he's going to be closest to the
Yes.
pool. There is a voice that you hear inside of your head. You are come to make tribute to the great Trariki, lord of the grotto. Who of you is the sacrifice?
I would stop for a second, and I would look at Alexander, and I would give him a look that is more of a warning of just be careful than anything else.
And due to our experience in the previous cave, I I don't think this is metagaming, but you can tell me if it is. I will say voices.
Um, I would nod, and then I would
All
look
right.
back. I would look back and I would say, "O Great One, we have not brought a sacrifice to you today. We just seek passage."
So you explain that you only want to pass through.
If he chooses to allow. I try to be very humble.
Okay. So you say that, and you wait, and there's a little bit of a pause. There's not really a response, and then finally there's this voice. It sounds, you hear it just inside of yourself.
Both of us?
No, just
Okay.
just Razvan.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Beneath this majesty there is hunger. Is one of you the chosen offering, or shall you bring another?
I mean, there's a giant out there. Oh wait, sorry. Can't hear me.
Say, if you will allow, we will leave and bring another.
I'll kind of say, bring another what?
I would hold a hand up, kind of directly at him, very swiftly, and kind of just bow and wait for his response before I actually move.
No, another what?
So
Razvan.
you speak out loud to whoever's talking to you, saying that you could bring back somebody else as an offering.
Mm-hmm.
There is no response to you. Make an intelligence check.
Sure. 14.
You're not... No, nothing. You gain nothing from that. You're stumped. You're not sure why there's no response. There was a perception check that Alexander made just a moment ago. That was really good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
right.
like a 21.
Yeah. You notice that a couple of creatures have swam down this submerged channel that is flowing from the tunnel to your right, and they are lurking underwater not too far away from this pool.
I will poke Razvan and nod towards them and just motion backwards, like back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so you motion for them to back up. I also want to real quick get a word from Magos.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you couldn't hear me. Magos is just kind of sitting back, observing all this. I doubt that he heard those voices.
You didn't hear any voices other than just what your comrades said aloud.
All right. Well, you hear nothing, but Magos might even go into the direction of the creatures.
Okay. So you step toward the pool, and there's a certain point where if you keep moving forward, you're going to pass Razvan and be the lead character.
Sure.
Okay. So at this point, you hear the voice. You hear a voice. Calm.
Calm?
Yeah, the voice is calm, and it says to you, "You are coming to sacrifice yourself? Is that what I understand?"
Magos telepathically says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. What do you, who is this? What are you talking about?"
You have come to the Lord of the Grotto, the great Trariki. If you are not the sacrifice, then whom?
Magos says, "Oh, enough of this bullshit. I am tired of talking to disembodied voices. Mr. Charlie, there is no sacrifice here, and I am certainly not the sacrifice. How you conceive me is quite amusing. I applaud you for that. But I do have one sacrifice for you. It is a sentence, a pure spell that we sorcerers like to use, and it's called "Go fuck yourself."
You
And
deliver quite a threat to the voice in your head. At this point, everybody roll for initiative.
Whoa!
I was gonna bluff my way out of this, but all right.
That's a good initiative. That is a strong 18.
14 for me.
All right, give me a moment here.
What'd you get, Razvan?
I was giving him a moment.
No.
I'm trying to figure out how to get the lower third to pop up, but I can't get it to...
Alright. One before me. Was I able to... I probably wasn't able to get stealthily hidden from those things, was I?
Bear with me a sec, guys. I gotta write down a couple things.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, JB, how can I get this lower third?
Okay, you already installed the Hangout toolbox.
Yes.
All right, do you have it open?
Yes.
The tab all the way on the left where it says lower third, you looking at that?
Yes.
All right, the button all the way to the right to where it says lower third, is that clicked to on?
Yes, now it is.
All right. Let's give it a second. You have anything typed in the boxes?
Yes. My character's name and my name under it.
All right. Cut it off and then back on one more time.
Oh, that's really cool. I like... Just a random seashell. So I definitely wouldn't be able to find a place to hide myself.
Can you see it now, JB?
No, but do you see where it says custom overlay?
Yes.
You might want to try using an overlay, and then I think it's not giving it to you because you're just an emblem with the little speaker thing on it right now and not actually showing your webcam. I think that's probably why it's not doing it.
Okay.
Maybe if you have an overlay on, like any picture will do, it might actually pop it up.
Okay, I'll try that. But that is a very excellent picture.
Yeah, that's... I'm a big... Oh, I was a big fan of it.
Outside of game, Esper, I actually absolutely loved your video on this, and it was hard for me to play dumb, but I tried my best to play my character.
That's why it's called role playing, my friend.
Yes,
I applaud you.
I do love this, like, beyond recognition.
Although I have lived a lifelong dream of telling Chariki to go fuck itself, so I'm very happy about that.
Okay.
Can you guys see anything on my end?
You Polygosians. No, I don't see anything, man.
So
That sucks.
you want me to put an arrow in this clamshell, right?
All right, so can I get you guys initiatives? Who has the highest?
That would be Michael with a 19.
Okay.
JB, yes, me, 19 for Razvan.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
After that?
Me with an 18.
Okay. And Magos?
14.
Okay. So we are going to... This is very complicated here. There's going to have to be some kind of surprise going on here. I'm going to say Magos and Trariki are the only ones not surprised because Razvan and Alexander, you don't see Magos. He was talking inside of his head. You're just you were waiting to figure out what exactly you're going to do, while meanwhile Magos was interacting. So let's let's take things to Magos. And Alexander, you do see some shapes here in this this channel.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're the only one who's noticed those. So Magos, what do? You just threatened this voice in your head.
I'm gonna try to hightail it out of here. I'm gonna jump over that. Okay, so to my left, there's that stream. I'm gonna try to jump over that stream and go to the cavern on the left.
Okay. So you can definitely do that. Oh, sorry. Okay, that was not what was supposed to happen there. Okay. Magos, that's your movement speed there. Okay. You want to dash? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and dash around the whatever that clam or pillar may be, and try to get to that left chamber.
That's as far as you can get. Is that good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And then the voice is now going to take its turn. Magos, you feel something like a tremendous pressure, exacting itself upon your person. Make a strength saving throw.
15.
That is a success.
Awesome.
And you take 2 points of force damage as it just kind of gives you a smack.
Ow. Probably deserve it though.
All right, so I think that'll be the first round there. So we'll take things from the top now. Razvan.
Okay, so I can't see Magos still. So what happened to him from my perspective?
You heard maybe some sounds of him moving because he was moving kind of quickly there. That's all, just a little bit of sound.
And perhaps if he took any damage.
I don't know. It was only 2 points, so leave it up to him.
Probably not.
No.
My
he just grit
plan
his
from the
teeth.
get-go was to back out of this room. So I would not even draw my weapon at this point. I just heard the footsteps. Alexander hasn't really pointed out the shapes in the water, and I was
did.
busy. Yeah, I know. You haven't pointed at them and said there they are. You just told me there were shapes in the water. And I was so busy with this voice in my head that I would just back up. So can you back me up diagonally 3 squares, please?
Absolutely. How about like that?
Sure.
Okay.
And I think that'll be it. I'll turn and be like, let's get out of here.
Okay, so you just want to flee.
Yeah, since I don't know Magos is in the room, that would be my first inclination.
You probably know that he's there because you know that he disappeared, and you just heard somebody, but you didn't see them running past.
Fantastic.
I would say that to me that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Instead, I would still back around this corner, and then I would yell, "Magos, is that you? Coward!" in the chamber.
You hear nothing.
Magos does not reply. Razvan, you still have your action. Do you want to do anything with your action?
Since I have, would you agree I've broken line of sight to, well, never mind. You can't break line of sight to a clam. I will draw my weapon, and that will be my turn.
Okay, do you at least want to use the dodge action?
Sure.
Just if okay.
Yes.
So you just go on the defensive.
I prepare myself in case something happens. That's
you're on the exactly. There you go. Alex.
Yeah, could I go diagonally 2 to the right?
That's what you notice there.
Yeah. Is there any way for me to like obfuscate the way that like use a cunning action to hide or like around the corner? Just put myself up against the wall and make sure they can't see me.
Okay, so maybe you'd want to go about like there where you have a
Okay.
little bit of blockage and some shadows.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, no, there was a torch and a lantern.
I have a
Not the
lantern
torch,
on me.
not the torch, the lantern.
I
Mhm.
don't have my torch anymore, so.
Right.
I can
Razvan has the lantern. So where did I just drag you from? You were there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I want to still be able to see them. And then,
All right. Make your stealth check.
dope! I think a 23 is going to be good.
Okay. You've made it.
Hopefully.
All right. You have done your
Okay.
best to hide yourself. And what do you want to do now?
And I will take out my bow.
All right. You can take out your bow and take a shot.
No, I just want to take out my bow, and I'll ready an action to if they jump out of the water.
Okay. So you have an arrow knocked, and as soon as you see one of the shapes come out of the water, you are going to let it loose.
Yeah.
Magos.
Oh, sorry, I continue left.
Insult and run. I like it.
Okay. So Magos, you are currently in a tunnel, Magos. You come to a fork. You can go to your left or to your right.
A quick perception check on each fork. I got a 13 on the left and a 7 on the right.
We'll just use the one roll, so we'll stick with the 13. To your right, you hear a sound of rushing water. It sounds quite powerful. To your left, the same.
I go to the right.
Okay, so we'll stop there. And these creatures are popping up out of the water.
All right.
They seem quite interested in not letting the master of the grotto's sacrifice get away so easily. So, what do we have there? Razvan, make a perception check.
Surely. That is a 19.
All right.
Nice.
You notice the creatures as they come from underneath the surface of the water. They're still kind of crouched down there a bit in the tunnel, but their upper torsos and their heads come from out of the surface as they hide. You notice them. They look like strange fish-like freaks. They just have these ugly, bulbous, unblinking, glassy eyes and this kind of bluish, mottled, scaly skin. Their ears and their tops of their heads have these points, like a frill or a fin point to them. And they have near to the sides of their mouth these long fish-like whisker barbs. And they are gripping these crude spears and they chuck them at you.
Do I?
You
See
notice
this?
them. So, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
you notice them.
All right.
Does a where are we at? Does a 13 hit your AC?
No, it does not.
All right. And then, okay. The first spear strikes the wall just right next to you, and it kind of a bit of the spear flies off of it. The other one, it just goes sailing over your head and just patters along the ground behind you.
Almost hits me, and I'm like, duh.
Now, Alexander, go ahead and loose your arrow.
All right. Do I? I don't have advantage on this shot, do I?
Yes, you do. And let's see, do you have that sharpshooter where it ignores partial cover?
I don't think so.
That's
It's a feat.
Razvan that has that.
That's me.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. Razvan has the mad sharpshooting skills. Okay, so go ahead and take your shot with advantage, Alexander.
Oh, thank goodness I have advantage. Critical hit! All right,
Nice.
so I'm excited about that, as you can tell.
As you should be.
So that's 2 extra dice, or 2 dice of my regular thing. That is a 5. That is a 6. So that's 11 plus 5 is 16. 16 damage. Oh, plus sneak attack damage.
Oh, don't forget that.
That would have been bad. So 16, 22, 25. 25 damage.
Your arrow bores straight into the forehead of the creature. It just goes completely limp in the water.
Do me a favor and make that noise again. Beautiful. That's my new phone's ringtone.
Blood begins streaming into the pool over the mollusk.
And oh wait, no, I didn't hear him, so I can't say there's your sacrifice. Crap.
Oh, I love that, Esper. That's wonderful. The blood is wonderful.
Nice. Okay, so that was that. Razvan, you feel a smack. Something invisible just hit you like a flail. Make a strength saving throw.
All right. 16.
Success. You take 2 points of force damage.
No, my first bloodiness.
Razvan, it is your turn.
The living person with the bulbous fish-like eyes, that stalactite that I can see in front of him, is that giving him cover?
Between the stalagmite and between the stalagmite and the actual ground, because he's submerged in the water, he has 3/4 cover.
Okay, so that would make me lightly obscured, correct?
You are not lightly obscured.
I'm not? No, that's too bad. I would like to...
Lightly obscured would be like you're in shadows or thick mist.
Okay. I would like to... he threw a spear at me. I'm not going to use my crossbow. I could shoot him, but meh. And I'm actually going to use my bonus action to dash. And that will change my movement to 60 feet. I would like to move up to him and draw my rapier.
About like there?
Yes, that's perfect.
Excellent. Okay, so you move there, you draw out your Ophorian blade, and I will... I'll even give you... Oh, dang it. They don't really do a lot of little pluses in this edition. Now we'll do it anyways. I'll give you +2 just because you have a nice high ground, and your weapon could pierce pretty easily through the water there.
Fine. The silvery blade of my rapier swings forth for 24 versus AC.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful. And that will be almost max damage. 11 points of piercing damage.
You stab the foul abomination in the water. It now goes to Alex.
I can't see this thing, right? Like I can't see it from here.
A little bit. You've got stuff in the way.
Yeah, what I-
Stalagmite, your ally, the ground,
yeah, could you move
water.
to the closest position that I could shoot from without, you know, being blocked by the stalactite or stalagmite? Sorry.
So you can do your speed and then you can dash as a bonus action, right?
I don't.
All rogues have that, right?
Yes.
I don't think
You
that's
can
cunning-
use a
oh, yeah,
bonus
that is-
action
that is
to
a
dash.
cunning action.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can totally use that as a cunning action. So yeah,
Okay. Do you want to go up here or like down there?
I would like to go
Down
up
Down there. Oh.
because I don't know what's going on, but I have a feeling that this oyster has something to do with it. Yeah, and
Alright.
I'm gonna shoot at its ugly, dumb face.
Alright.
It is currently
Yeah, you should,
busy with my friend, right?
yeah, so you should get advantage.
Yes, you get advantage on this attack roll because I'm in melee with it, which is why I got in melee with it.
But it is not denied its dex, so no sneak attack.
Yes, you get sneak attack.
Oh,
You can sneak attack anytime you get
can
advantage.
attack something
Okay.
that is in
all
melee.
right. So that is it's definitely not a crit, but it's something. It's a 22.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a 20, yes.
That's all I need to know. Oh no. That's better. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18.
The arrow drives into the back of the creature's neck.
Oh, gross. Hey, is my phone ringing?
Hey, Mom.
We'll do this. The lifeless corpses of the creatures go floating down the stream.
Awesome.
Okay. Magos.
Thanks for the help, Magos.
Anytime.
Magos, you just took the right-hand passage there in the forking tunnel. You come to a cave, the edge of a cave. Do you have any light sources going on here?
No.
Okay, you see utter blackness, the sound of rushing water. Do you like violent water? Do you wish to continue?
I suppose I'll light I'll light a torch, I suppose.
Okay, so we'll leave you there getting your torch all put together. And now we'll go back to your allies here in the large chamber. Razvan and Alexander, you each feel a painful, throbbing, piercing sensation in your mind. Make wisdom saving throws.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Natural 20.
This is why I left the cave.
16 for me.
Oh, yes, yes.
There's a feeling like waves, the ocean waves, crashing and flowing back and forth through your mind very, very painfully. You're able to withstand the worst of it. You each take 5 points of psychic damage.
Oh, man. 5 points takes me to 6 damage. That sucks.
I reel a bit and I'll say
I have
say
no
since
clue where
I'm
this is coming
exhausted-
from.
I'll say since I'm exhausted and strung out and this hit is pretty hard for me, I'll actually drop my weapon in the water and kind of like reel back onto this piece of stone.
Mm-hmm.
I clutch my head.
Crap.
Razvan, you're starting to feel a bit overwhelmed. What are you going to do?
It is my turn.
It's your
Wonderful.
turn.
Well, seeing as how my weapon has clattered onto the ground, and I'm not sure what this thing may have in store, I would probably skirt around the pond, see to the right in that little bulbous region between where I am and the rock in the bottom right corner. And as I move, I would like to draw my crossbow. And during the movement, I will take a shot at it. And I'm not using sharpshooter because I'm not sure that I can hit it. But that is a 22 to hit.
That is a hit. You're firing at the large mollusk?
Yes, the mollusk. There's nothing else in the room that I would think could do what's happening to me other than it.
That is a hit.
And I am swinging for 8 points of damage.
I think there's plenty of things that, I mean, we had a gym talk to us, so.
So you see me kind of collect myself off of this rock, and I shake my head a few times, and then I just beat feet around this pond to get a little closer and loose a bolt while I'm running. Does it skip off of it like I suspect it's going to?
Yes, it does. It's only just a slight scuff.
I curse under my breath, and that will be the end of my turn.
Very well. Alexander, you see your friend struggling to maintain his composure to fight off whatever this fiend is. What are you going to do?
I will shout out, are you okay, dude? Do you need me to come over there to help you?
I make some type of noise between a grunt and a sigh as I'm loading my crossbow.
I will start heading his way, but I will also pick up a rock and throw it at him. Not Razvan. I'm not going to try and hit Razvan with the rock. I'm going to throw the rock at the clam to see what happens.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I think I missed the first part. You said you were going to move down here?
Towards Razvan.
Okay.
Yeah. Just pick up the biggest rock that I can, that I think I can throw at this guy.
Okay. So you look around, you grab whatever rock you can find. You do find one that's pretty sizable. It's like the size of a grapefruit.
Nice.
And it's a pretty heavy one, and you chuck it at the giant mollusk there, trying to crack it open.
Yeah.
And make an attack, and it's just going to be your dexterity score, or your dexterity modifier.
Yeah. Well, my dexterity modifier is a 5 to my 15 that I just rolled, so 20.
Oh, wow, you have a +5 dexterity modifier?
Yeah, I showed you the thing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you definitely hit it. And roll.
We had that discussion on Facebook, remember?
Yeah. Roll like it's improvise. I say a D4.
Yeah, that would be a
plus-
D4 by rules.
D4 plus dexterity. I guess this seemed more like something I'd use strength, but whatever. We'll just keep going with it. Use dexterity.
In 5th edition rules, if you would like to know, since I have the book open, in 5th edition rules, it would use either strength or dexterity. That would be...
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So
Carry on.
Still dexterity, or do you want me to do
Dexterity.
All right.
Yeah.
7.
All right.
That's not bad
clack,
at all.
Clack! The rock hits it with that heavy sound. It seems more effective than the crossbow quarrel, that's for sure. Next is going to be Magos. Magos, your torch is kind of like slowly sputters to life, and orange-yellow flames start crackling, and it illuminates the room in front of you. It's a natural cavern room. All these rooms here just look natural. None of them are man-made. This room is 60 feet across. The floor completely gives way. There's no actual floor here. There is only violent rushing waters. You see on the opposite side of the room, the tunnel continues.
That's a problem. I take my floating torch and I head toward the left cavern.
Okay. You backtrack. You take the other tunnel. This one is a little bit longer than the right-hand side that you had taken. And you see a room that is just slightly smaller, just a hair smaller. Again, the ground drops off. It drops down about 15 feet before you're hitting the surface of the water. It's just a watery pool at the bottom. The ceiling is covered with stalactites. They're all dripping into this water. And you see in the water here is very clear. You see by the glow of your torch there are shapes moving around underneath the surface of the water here in this large pool. They look like crabs. A couple of them are very large crabs, the size of like a large dog, but there are some smaller ones in there as well.
Nice. With that being said, I've kind of gotten a view of the area. Nothing interesting, just some rushing water. So at this point, I'm just going to I'm going to put out my torch. Put it. I don't know how I would do that. I guess just like smack it up against. I don't know.
Well, we'll hold that there because you had to do so much walking through these tunnels. You've really used up all the time of your turn.
Okay.
It is the enemy's turn here. And give me one quick second.
I mean, this thing has to be like pissed at me now.
It has to be.
I mean, even if the oyster thing, the isn't it? I mean, I'm throwing rocks in its home, so I wouldn't be happy.
Who would? Alexander, you feel again this flail of invisible force strike against you. Make a strength saving throw.
I'm going to re-roll that because I don't feel comfortable with how many 20s I'm rolling. I'm going to use a different dice.
Okay.
So that's a... I mean, I'm serious. It just feels a little odd to me. You said will?
Strength.
Strength. Strength. Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine. That's a 18 then.
18. All right. You withstand the force. You hold your ground. It feels like it's trying to actually slap you in the direction of this large mollusk. You only take one. You only take 1 point of force damage, and you hold your ground.
Nice.
Razvan.
All right. I'm going to, as a minor action, reach into my belt on one of the various pouches and produce a flask of alchemist frost.
Nice.
And I would like to toss it at said giant mollusk.
Excellent.
It is protruding from the water, I take it, correct?
It's just below the surface, so you're pretty sure if you just fling this as hard as you can, it's going to work.
All right. If you say it'll work, I'll believe you. Okay.
So we're not running with like the lower your health, the more disabilities you have, right?
If you drop to 0, you get an injury. Like,
Yeah,
a
you would
legitimate
actually
injury.
have to. You'd actually have to get knocked to 0 hit points to sustain an injury.
Right.
Okay. So that will be a 19.
That's a hit.
And that should be a D4, the same as Alchemist Fire, correct?
Indeed.
Wonderful. For 3 frost damage.
It's respectable.
All right. You toss this this little clay flask. It goes through a few inches of water, shatters against the shell of this mollusk. You see these frigid, freezing, like an icy patch form on this creature and in some of the water that engulfs it. And it looks like the alchemist's frost is doing what it was designed to do.
Wonderful.
And then that's gonna do an additional D4 of frost damage again on when it comes back to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And then I will use my bonus action to dash, and then I will run as far back as I can, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
You guys can't hear the ambience coming from my microphone, can you?
No.
Okay, good.
Not quite that far. I want to still be able to see it. I'm sorry. I didn't specify that.
About like there?
Can you move me up and to the left 1 more square? That is perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Alex.
Question. Whenever I hit it with the rock, I didn't reveal any like fleshy, harder to hit, but easier to penetrate with piercing
You did not.
places. I didn't think so. I'm going to look for a rock again.
You look around. The only rock you can find this time is much smaller. At the most, like the size of your fist.
All right. Well then, I will move over, no rocks in the surrounding area that I could pick up with Mage Hand. Because
Make a perception check.
all right, because I get the feeling that that's the only way I'm going to be able to help out in this situation. 12.
Frantically, you scan the room with your eyes. You just don't notice any that seem substantial like that first big one you found.
All right, let's back away from the water actually, because that couldn't be fun to deal with if I got knocked in. I don't feel anything urging me to stay in the water, do I?
You do not. Not
All
yet,
right.
at least.
Stupid question. I couldn't cunning action to hide behind him.
Behind your friend?
Yeah.
You can't hide behind your friend. It's just not enough.
Right,
Not enough
no.
cover.
And he has a lantern, so stupid question.
May I metagame for just a moment and suggest that we probably can't hide from it at all if it
Yeah.
can hit us
Yeah, if it
mentally, and
if it
it's a
can
clam.
hit- See us telepathically, so yeah, good idea.
Just, my
So I'm just gonna shoot at it with my bow and arrow.
have a feeling that's how the rest of this combat will go down.
Yeah. Well, you see, we both have piercing weapons, so
Mhm.
it's not gonna be fun. I'm assuming it has either immunity or resistance, but my character doesn't know that. It just knows that arrows don't seem to be.
It didn't seem entirely impervious to the arrows and bolts, but they were much less effective than shooting a normal person.
It kind of gouged out sections
Right.
and skipped off of it.
But that rock was effective. So yeah, arrow to
Take your shot.
17, 18. 18.
That is a hit.
All right. That's a 9.
All right. The arrow shatters upon the shell of the giant mollusk. It is Magos' turn.
I want to get as far back into this chamber as I can without having to use more than my regular move action.
Oh, back into the big chamber?
Yeah, where the mollusk and everybody is in.
Yeah, okay, so that'll be your whole turn moving.
Okay, then, all right, that's what I do.
You notice that everything's dead except for the clam.
Yep. By the way, my torch has been extinguished, so I'm still completely invisible.
Right. Oh crap! I just noticed that those things are slowly swimming towards.
Yep, the water flows here and then it drops off. Okay.
Kind of worried about what would happen if they go all the way, but all right.
Alexander.
Force damage.
Yes, make a strength saving throw.
All right. That's a 14.
Again, you hold your ground.
Holy
It
crap.
smacks you for 5 points of force damage. I'm sorry,
That's
2 points.
Oh, okay. That's
Magos. Oh, I'm sorry, not Magos. Razvan.
I will first roll the damage for that recurring frost.
Yes.
That is a 4, thankfully.
Excellent.
Ta-da. And then I'll say to Alexander, I'll be like, this goddamn thing, give me your shoulder. And then I'll kind of prop my crossbow up on his shoulder to steady my aim.
you roll a natural 1 and shoot me in the ear.
And I say, don't move. And then I fire.
I sneeze. I
So,
don't sneeze.
19 to hit.
Nice.
And that will do 9 damage.
This entire
Actually, the crossbow bolt does not strike the creature. Before it's speeding straight towards the thing, and just maybe an inch away from it, it suddenly just completely gets flung off trajectory.
I say, damn it, again.
Alexander. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And drop my crossbow down to my side and start reloading. That's all.
Okay.
This entire time I'm just thinking of stupid things that can help us penetrate the skin, and I this is where I get crazy. Alex is always thinking, trying to figure out how to weaken his enemies, and he is gonna look for another rock, this time a smaller one, that he could kind of jerry-rig onto one of his arrows and shoot really poorly, but still shoot his arrow as a kind of like a bludgeoning. It's pushing it. It's pushing it. I know.
Make an intelligence check.
That's a 19.
Is there a baby?
That was a weird sound.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's
like. Yeah, he's like, that's pushing it.
Okay.
Hey.
So the very instant the thought comes into your head, you laugh and brush it away because it's really impossible.
Nah. Bludgeoning arrows, dude.
That's
There's
why
such
you're
a
the
thing.
best, Esper. That's why you're the best.
Bludgeoning arrows are a thing.
Yes,
But-
if you pay gold for someone to craft them out of the proper materials, they are a thing.
Indeed, there are blunted arrowheads. You probably used some of them when you were training.
Yeah.
However, trying to find a way to rope a rock onto your arrow does not seem feasible.
In my new area, are there any new rocks that I could throw at him?
You can make another perception check because bear in mind you're like just spending seconds to quickly scan
Yeah.
things. So
That's a 14.
you do find one. It's not quite the size of that big one you found at first, but it's still got some weight to it, and you think it could suffice.
But would I be able to hit it from? I'll move a little bit closer, so he'll be easier to hit.
All right.
All right.
There you are.
So once again, it's just dexterity.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's 24.
Yes, you got it.
All right.
Big
Big ol' rock with a.
This time, only your dexterity modifier, no actual dice.
Oh, okay.
So it's 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
fine. I rolled a 1, so.
Okay. You sling this, kind of like apple-sized, maybe a little bit bigger, stone. Quack! It hits the thing, and you actually see like a little chip fleck off from the part of his shell. So it, a little noticeable chip off of it that time.
Nice.
And you hear a voice, calm voice inside of your head that says, "Much ago, since I met a match, I will allow you and your companions passage. Stop this irritating assault."
Well, you see, the problem there is you've been kind of a hassle. I lost a good number of arrows. Would there be any way that we could be, what's the word I'm looking for?
Compensated?
Yeah, compensated. I was doing that for dramatic effect.
So you attempt to bargain with the
Yeah.
creature. Make a persuasion check.
Oh, charisma is something that I'm pretty good at as a thief. So that's a 19. He seems like a deity, so he's probably harder to barter with, so that's probably not going to do it.
19?
Yeah.
Very well. You
Oi.
make an understandable case, Woodling. There is a collective of oysters which produce pearls. I will allow you to harvest from them. Simply swim out a ways from the beach. You will find them at the foot of the large rock.
Do I need to roll a, not a deception, geez, let me look through these. Insight. Do I need to roll an insight to see if he's lying, or is there just no way to tell because of how monotone he is?
You can certainly roll an insight check.
That's a great roll. That's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, you don't really know what to make of this thing.
All right.
Seems like he's being straightforward with you.
All right.
So let's move things over to Magos. So Magos, you just saw Alexander kind of maybe negotiating. I don't know. Something happened. He hit this thing with a rock, and then you saw him, doing the thing where he's kind of like concentrating on the creature. You can tell he's got some kind of mental dialogue going on, and it looks like he's eased up a little bit, like relaxed up.
I'd like to.
I've got a smile on my face again.
I'd like to hop in the water and go for a swim and let the current take me down.
What? You're immediately covered in blood from the other 2 things.
You guys see a big splash.
Yeah, those guys they're probably gone now. All right. So the water it's very cool, very very cool water. So there's like this rushing shock. Before you jump in, just all willy-nilly, is this bad for you? You're wearing finery. Maybe you have like some delicate scrolls or books or something that you don't want to get wet.
Oh, duh, I'm sorry. I was just No, never mind. I take that back. I wasn't thinking. I'd like to make my way up back to where I crossed over on the top.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we're still in combat. I guess not.
Well, that's yes
It's up
and
to you.
no. Yes and no. It looks like your ally there has kind of eased up a little bit. He seems to be negotiating with this thing in his mind.
All right. Well,
Um,
I'm just gonna take a move action and a I guess whatever an extra move action to get as close to the small math of that as I can.
Okay. So just going around about like that?
Yes.
Okay. So you begin making your way. Alexander and Razvan, you probably hear this because he's moving with, not lazily.
And I've got a decent.
Maybe you hear some footsteps and a jump. Hear him landing. Maybe there is boots upon the stone, but you don't see anything. Let's move it to
That would be the clam.
Magos. You're going to hear a voice now in your head. You return.
I do. These are my
I-
friends.
I had counted you amongst the comrades of the forest ring. Very well. I am done with this irritant. Go about your way. Live out your lives as you see fit. Disturb me no more.
It is a great honor, great Rariki.
You told him to fuck off.
I tell him, I say, I meant you no harm. I have been very stressed out. You are not the, this is all telepathically too, by the way. I said, you are not the first one to try to talk at me through my mind. I bid you good day.
Your change of idea is welcome to this one. And that is that. Razvan, you as well observe that your allies seem to be in some sort of negotiation, or your ally, rather, that you can see, seems to be in some sort of negotiation. What do you want to do?
See, this is a difficult choice for me because I'm trying to play up this idea of his mental faculties are not functioning at 100%.
Sure.
Yeah. When were they ever, though?
He's severely hurt. This thing has been a great annoyance, but I think he would probably still trust in his allies if he saw them. So he doesn't do anything yet. He takes aim and he tells Alexander to move out of the way. He's like, move or get shot, he says out loud.
I will say, put down the crossbow. We're leaving. We have passage.
I would lower it, wouldn't put it away. I'd lower it, and then start backing up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not that way.
I'm just backing up to get away from it, not because I
Right.
think that's the direction.
Right.
I did go for
Sorry.
that swim after all.
That'll be fine.
Okay,
I
so
kinda rest one hand on the wall.
Razvan, he's pretty tense. He looks like he's really on edge still. So he just backs up a little bit warily, but doesn't actually flee the chamber. Alexander, what do you do?
I, still with my bow in hand, creep along, like just go around it. Well, first I ask it, which way is the exit? That would probably help.
You ask the obvious. Follow the light.
I follow the light. Where does
Okay.
it?
You make your way towards the sunlight streaming through.
And I will motion to them saying follow. But I still have my eye on it the entire time, making sure that it. Well, obviously there's no point in keeping my eye on it What's it gonna do? Turn and face me?
You see a cove here, and there is a sandy little strand. Otherwise, the rocky cliff walls here, this thick black line, these rocky cliff walls just go up, 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 and they are filled with, residue from sea spray and lichens, and
Right.
there are foamy, crashing bits of waves upon the cliff faces here. These two corpses are just floating lifelessly back and forth upon the beach, right at the shoreline there with the tide. You see these two rocks coming up out of the water. This first one here it just comes up maybe about a foot or so out of the water. The other one's actually pretty big. It stands up almost like the height of a man straight up out of the water. And you hear sounds of seagulls in the distance, the smell of the sea breeze.
All right.
Little secluded cove here.
Yeah. Did he give me like more? Did he give me a pretty good idea of where to check for the pearls?
Yeah, he told you that large rock. If you just
Okay.
search around the base is what he said.
All right. I will ask for, or I will get as close to the shore as I can in my movement.
You've used up all the move for the turn, but just keep that in mind for the next round. And it is Magos.
Wait,
turn.
can I dash?
Oh, that's right. You still can do you can do another, right? Can you do
Yeah.
2 dashes?
He
Well-
can technically dash as a bonus action and then use 2 standards to move.
There we go. That's
If
what I
you
meant.
want to allow that since we're not in combat.
Yeah.
Combat.
That's it exactly. Okay, so you're going to continue on. It's kind of slow going here on this sand. So let's do... There we go. Magos Aviva.
I head south with using 2 actions, using a move action and an action to move 12 squares. Still invisible.
Indeed.
Coward.
You don't know that.
That's
Razvan.
exactly why I'm saying it. Because I don't know if you're a coward.
Razvan, you see your allies heading southwards towards the this opening leading to the outside.
Well, ally.
I
Indeed.
kind of hug the wall and go around. And you can move me, I want to say it's 16 squares, if you want to let me do double movement.
Mm-hmm.
So I should just catch up with Magos and stop.
You're going the long way.
Hmm. It's more of a, I don't know,
Cautious way.
a begrudging walk where I'm kind of
Yeah.
keeping a hand on the wall, walking around.
Sure. Okay, cool. So I've kind of taken stock of what you guys are doing here, and you don't, there's not any additional assaults from the great mollusk creature in the chamber.
Bastard.
So let's just move things out. Let's just move things out here. So it's going to be basically you two out on the Cove Beach, and then Alexander's. You're going swimming around looking for the oysters with the pearls, right?
Yeah. I guess
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I
so
need to be a perception check to see how many I can find.
Make first an athletics check as you are in the cold, rushing water here.
All right. That's a decent enough roll. That's a 15.
That's a success. And then you can make your perception check to search around
Nice.
the rock there.
I'm happy with that. That is a 20.
20 perception.
Not a critical, but a 20.
You notice 2 things. First of all, you notice the oysters. Secondly, you notice the shape of a shark swimming straight towards you. So make a choice. Swim back to the beach and get away from that shark, or collect the oysters and the shark will be upon you.
Well, obviously I'm gonna go back to the shore.
Oyster.
Okay.
Do sharks eat oysters? No.
Magos reappears and he says, "It's a good thing I got us out of that."
Shark in the water near the pearls.
Can I didn't do it, but I hope that you'll let me say that I went and picked up my family sword that had fallen next to the pool from where I got struck earlier.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm doing right now. I just walk up.
And you saw Magos reappear.
The urge to stab him in the back is very strong. But
Like he
instead,
said, like
I see.
I
Where the hell
try to-
did you go?
I try to hold back, just punching him in the face, but he sees my fist come up and then go down.
Magos said, "It's a good thing I got us out of that situation."
Where
I'm
the
gonna
hell
murder
did you
you.
go?
I look him straight in the eyes and I say, "I am going to murder you."
Magos says, do not forget what happened the last time you threatened me."
Where were you?
I didn't threaten you. I made a promise.
That was a threat nonetheless. But I was negotiating with the clam.
The whole time? That's where you were?
Yes,
Huh?
instead of throwing rocks and crossbow bolts like a bunch of animals, I was actually trying to get it to leave us alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a insight check.
I was going to ask the same thing if you would allow it, Esper.
Yeah, insight's essentially something you can just always roll whenever you would like.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's a 19 and a half.
23.
Nice.
19 and a half. 23.
24 actually.
Magos appears to be telling the complete truth.
Mm. Still mad about it.
Magos, and this entire time I've been leaning up against the wall, like with my arms crossed, looking all cool.
I actually, at this point, I walk up and I do start talking to him accusatorially at first, and then as it kind of dawns on me that he might be telling the truth, I kind of just slump to the ground and
I'll say
sit.
to him, well, in your endeavors to keep him away from us and let us leave, what did you get out of it?
I didn't die.
Oh, well, there's pearls under there, so, and I point to the rock.
Magos says, "That's nice."
We should get them, but there's a shark. So we're not leaving either way.
I don't care about your fucking pearls.
Yeah, well, it's not just the pearls, it's the fact that there's a fucking shark.
Magos says, "Bring it here, I'll burn it to a crisp. We can have lunch and pearls."
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to ask the shark to come up on land. I don't think they're amphibious.
No, you could draw it in.
Is there no other way out of this place?
No.
You say that so
I don't-
shrewdly.
I don't know. Why don't we ask the one who's been talking to him so often? And I'll turn to Magos. and say,
Magos.
Did he tell you of any other way to get out?
Magos said, "No, he did not."
Magos, do you tell them anything about the two rooms, the two cavernous rooms that you saw?
No, that would give it away that he was lying.
Magos says nothing of the two rooms.
Okay. And then, of course, there's the way from which you had initially came, though the mouth of the cave was covered over by collapsed rocks.
Magos says, "I'll just bait the shark in and I'll just burn it."
Help me with this real quick. When we first came into the cave, we approached an area that had 3 separate directions to go. We
When you,
chose
when you first came in?
Yes.
Nope. There's just the one tunnel. There was a room at the beginning, a small room, but it was just like just a break in the tunnel, and the tunnel continued out the other side.
I see exactly what you're saying now. Gotcha.
And then the tunnel from there, it just arced around, but it was still just that one tunnel.
Right.
And then there's the big chamber, of course, that we've been seeing here, and it has that like a submerged tunnel at the top of it, and then there's this one to the left.
All right. Well, I will take out one of my vials and one of my because I am a poisoner. I will take out the one with was that rat's blood? Yeah, rat's blood.
Rat's blood.
And I will sprinkle it in the water, trying to gain the ire of the shark. And I will also, I will use Mage Hand to splash a rock near the water.
Okay, tell me about rat's blood.
It's just rat's blood. I have it because I like poisoning things, and I just thought it'd be cool to have rat's blood.
Okay, it's
literally
rat's
rat's blood. Yeah, it's literally rat's blood.
I thought it was an interesting poison name.
Yeah.
No.
I thought it was going to be a poison.
I'm sorry. No.
Because I'm a poisoner, I have rat's blood.
No. No, because I'm a poisoner, I have vials. It just so happens that I keep.
Makes a lot more sense.
So you pour some nasty old rat's blood into the water, and you throw rocks at the shark.
No, it's just splashing in the water,
Okay.
trying to bait him in.
Well, the shark, as you saw it, was a pretty good sized shark. It's about the same size as you. It probably wouldn't be able to swim much farther past that rock where you were investigating. Right. It starts to get a bit shallow near to the beach. So whatever it is that you were looking for, it did not happen.
Is it close enough to the surface that I can shoot it with an arrow?
You can take a shot.
All right. It's a 19.
All right. You send an arrow out there whenever the shark, gets at its closest point, and you strike.
Awesome. No sneak attack. Shame.
No sneak attack.
I should have hit it under the sand first. I'm so fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
It's like a sand castle making its archer siege.
13 damage.
13. That shark did not like that at all, and it swims away. And I'll let you keep your original athletics check and perception check. No sense in redoing all of that. You swim back out, and you are able to recover from the various oysters one that has a suitable pearl inside, and it is a nice-looking pearl.
Nice.
I will award you a total of 50 experience points.
Nice.
Swimming, searching, perceiving, shark arrowing, the whole lot.
Is that a skill that I should mark down in skills? Shark arrowing.
Shark arrowing.
I'd like to try.
You're halfway proficient in shark arrowing.
I'd like to try and retrieve an arrow.
Magos gives a condescending slow clap.
And don't forget to take the pearl down. It looks like a nice one.
Yeah.
And Magos would like to ask, what is Pollock?
Nice pearl. Not helping us. That's where he is.
Pollock at the moment he is back at that very first chamber shortly after entering this cave. And the last things that he said was like, okay, go ahead and, scout ahead. I'll stay here. I'm just going to take a rest. So you've been scouting ahead for a good few minutes now.
Okay.
Nice.
Should we go get him?
Well, yeah. I'll go get him.
Go get him.
Okay, and let me give out some experience points here.
Nice.
217 experience points per person.
Oh, Magos.
200 and what?
17.
17.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, I can hate you just fine.
Wow. I like the way he's playing Magos.
Oh, I am too. I'm just fucking with him.
I foresee another fight coming. That was a...
So I think this is probably a good place to pause here.
Yeah.
Just because it's just I don't think it's good form to continue on much more without an active Pollock.
Yeah.
So again, after an encounter of sorts, a good place to pause, and we'll pick things up next time
Right.
at this exact spot.